I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
He's Anand Thacker.
She's Rebecca Wyman.
And we're just way too silly to be doing a watch party,
Oh my
but we
gosh.
are going to be doing a watch party.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Dreamforce Keynote watch party. And I'm just so it's a different day for me because I'm not used to like looking directly in the camera. I'm used to like having this like off to the side kind of view. But anyway, I'm excited. The sun has actually come out for the first time in 5 days here in Atlanta. And I'm hoping that means we're going to have a really good fun event. What do you think?
The sun's out here obviously as well, but I will dispense with those for now.
Wait. So Rebecca, it's sunny where you are? Because right now we're kind of overcast and we're not that far apart.
Come east, young man. Come east.
I'm heading out. I'm heading there right now. On the way. I'll see you guys later.
And I just want to say a special thank you to the Blues siblings for sporting the nice shades as you came on today. That was cool. Hey, look who's back. 2 days in a row.
Whoa, Peter. Wow, from Scotland. Another man. Well, let's see.
He actually, look, actually, this is funny because Sven is usually the first one. He's not even the second one. Thomas jumped in and beat him. But
there we are. Wow.
Hey, Sven.
We're not keeping track, really.
Didn't last night he say hi, folks, also, though, when he came on?
What is this like?
He also said good night about 3 times before he left.
No, you know what occurred to occurs to me? If Sven said hi, folks, last night, that's a pattern. So he must have like a watch party hello he does that's specifically hi, folks.
Okay, so I can tell right now there's no way
Ina from Indonesia
with all these comments.
Well, Ina is an amazing person. She's a thought leader in Indonesia. So she's watching from Jakarta.
Nice.
Ed Sullivan is here. We're going to put on a really big show for you, Ed. So there you go.
That Ed Sullivan.
I bet he's never heard that joke before.
Never, ever.
Hi, Ina. How are you? How's Ari?
Donnie.
They also I did an event with Creatio down in Jakarta and they were the hosts, Ina and her company, and they were there. Well, I've known her 13 years. I knew her before ever.
There's
John.
Our special guest.
Hey, John.
Our special guest directly following the keynote is John Tashick. So
he will be back with us for a while, which is great.
The happy hour crew is in the house. I see.
That's right.
Sven has a bot. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay.
Wow.
Yes, to be less creative. Okay.
I don't think so.
Yes, today is Dreamforce 21. Yes. Yesterday, he jumped the gun a little bit yesterday, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Ed.
There's my man, Jeff.
Yeah, and Alan Popovsky is here, too.
Hey, Alan. Where is Alan? I didn't see him.
And good old LinkedIn user. It wouldn't be a show.
Well,
if
that's definitely Bob, because he knows Ed Sullivan from Radiant 6.
Oh wow,
Patricia, hey, here's a hug for you. She's
that's right.
She's part of Jesus's crew.
Right. That's right. I met her years ago.
Wow, this is wow.
Cinemaker in the house.
Cinemaker in the house, man. He's a good one.
And it's already begun. That's like 2 minutes.
Oh, nice, Monique.
Monique from Bouillon and Company, Bouillon Partners.
Right?
Yeah, she's part of Silvana's organization. It's her. She's one of the partners. Hey, Mike. Yay! Finally got you out and about, getting some exercise onto the show.
All right. Well, maybe take a second away from the hellos. Although keep them coming. We'll get them in there. Maybe we should just set the stage for a little of what's going to go on today. First and foremost, at 12:45, are we taking bets on if this starts right on time? I'm going to say
I would never make that
right on 12.
Well, that depends on the odds. That always depends on the odds. If they're good enough.
Because it's a Salesforce Plus and they're kind of operating like a broadcast network, you kind of do have to start your show right at when you're supposed to. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, good thought.
What's that?
That's a good thought. They're Salesforce Plus. That's a network. Good thought. Although they still insist on calling it Netflix for Business, which it's not, right? But it is a network. First attempt at one. Anyway.
So you're saying, Paul, anybody could just go back and play this whenever they whenever they want to start it?
Yeah, Ian is saying he's saying no way they're going to start on time. He's just getting it in there.
He's hinting that it's a no way, right?
Good to see you, Joe Andrews. Although I still don't like the Patriots, but I just want to.
Oh my goodness! Some of the people running up on these. This is great.
Yeah,
Shalini. She's a rock star. She left SAP a little while ago and haven't seen her since, but she's amazing. Yeah. Mark, C3,
Mark.
running C3 AI. No, C3 Ex Machina is what it's called.
Oh, you got a fan in the shades there, Rebecca.
Got a few fans, seems.
Oh, look who it is. Mr. Michael Thomas is in the house.
CP time. Oh,
we're gonna leave that one alone.
That's for the end.
That one alone. Yeah. Oh, look, there's wait a minute.
Yeah, well, another man. Oh, wow.
Oh,
you weren't trying to work. He's literally trying to work his way off the show this afternoon.
We may have to rethink this one. Although we're always glad to see Christy Tupper in the house. So that's
hey, Christy, how you doing?
All right. Hey, so we're still in a little bit of a countdown mode. We got about 7 minutes to go.
We got some things to talk about.
Didn't we want to make a little announcement? But let me do this. Let me pull up. I should have done this before. Darn it. Let me do the. I have a couple of slides to share. If I can only share them, that would be really nice. All right, here we go. It doesn't help when you have like 10 computers staring at you and you're trying to get things going. All right, here we go. So this is what we're all here for today, folks. If it will only show up. There we go. There it is. Okay. So
nice.
Where it is. I just like the fact that Mark looks like he's looking right at that CRM Playaz logo as we.
He's thinking, "What have I gotten myself into?" I thought I was just giving a Dreamforce speech.
So we're gonna listen in on that one, and then directly following, we got our buddy John Tashick, and I just want to point out he is SVP of Strategy for Salesforce because.
By now, I think everybody knows that because we all know him well, right?
Yeah, but apparently, there was a little slide gremlin that didn't have the right thing there. All right, as well as we are joined, of course, by the siblings, the Shade siblings here. So they're going to be peppering in their commentary throughout, in and out. And also, we're going to have some of our buddies that are going to be doing some of the, what are we calling it? The post-game analysis kind of thing?
That's right. That's exactly what it is. Post-game. That's it. We have, you want to run them through who they are real quick?
Well, I almost don't want to say Liz Miller because usually when I say Liz Miller or I want to say Liz Miller, I say Liz Lemon for some reason because she's not only funny. I mean, she's not only smart and VP, analyst for Constellation, but she's funny like Liz Lemon. And so I always kind of but she's Liz Miller. So you take I'll take Don and Don Flukinger. You got to be careful about saying Don's last name. That's all I'm going to say. Don. We've known Don for years. He's a tech writer for Tech Target, and you see his writing, but you never hear him, offside of the Tech Target. So we're bringing Don to the stage. Don has a unique perspective and a unique way of sharing his perspective, and we wanted that to be a part of our thing today. You handle the next two.
All right. Well, then, look, we all know, obviously, Dennis Pombriant. He's part of the Four Horsemen. Right? He's of the CRM apocalypse. What was it bringing CRM to its knees since 2008? right?
Yeah.
So Dennis
Right.
is leading analyst. The thing with Dennis, of course, not only is he a leading analyst in CRM, but he's got a astounding, wide-ranging mind and actually has perspectives that no one else has. And then, of course, the extraordinary Kate Leggett, who's running CRM for Forrester, and she, of course, comes from the practitioner world, an amazing person, a keen mind, and let's say willing to say what she needs to say when she needs to say it. She always is very straight, and yet nobody ever feels offended. Let's say it never gets. Kate will say the truth, and it still never goes to the ombudsman, right? So those of you who've ever dealt with them will know what that means, right? So she's an amazing person.
That's quite a talent, right? So much needed in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before it kicks off, Paul, do you want to go to the announcement?
Yeah, we should. This would be the best. So do you want to
take it away? You take it away.
All right. So here's the thing. You guys, I presume all of you, of course, everyone on this I know saw the show where we did with John Lawson, Colder Ice, the bold one, the cold one, the bold one, and the old one, right? And Brent dropped this quiz on us, right, on commerce, and it was hilarious. It was just hilarious. It was a good quiz too, but it was hilarious. I mean, John knew way more than I do about commerce, so he, we weren't competing, but let's put it this way, I was, right? So, New Yorker. So
I don't know about that first question, but
we talked about it. And we've noticed the audience was doing it. We decided, you know what, that was great. And we had some iterations, and then we came to the conclusion, you know what, it is time for the CRM Playaz to announce another show, and the name of it is Crapshoot. And this will literally be a quiz show. We're not going to have time to go through details now. We don't even know all the details yet, but we do know this. We will just tell you this very quickly. It is competitive. There will be 3 teams of 2. They will represent vendors or practitioner companies, and they will be the experts, regardless of title at the company, in the categories that we're going to use. Beyond that, we won't tell anyone. And by the way, I've got to tell you, Anna, it's thanks to you we have this name, because I went to Word Hippo looking for Jeopardy, right? I typed in Jeopardy, and one of the nouns said that this was some of the associated terms. I am not kidding. Business, enterprise, ventures, projects, and crapshoot.
And of course, you know which one we gravitated towards.
It was so perfect that there's the show. So we will more announcement coming up soon on the show.
There you go, Josh.
Crapshoot.
Yeah.
Yep, Josh is right.
So there may or may not be a new car, and there may or may not be a lifetime supply of rice-a-roni, right?
And you may or may not be answering in the form of a question.
And we may get back to you in 2 and 2. You know,
We'll be back with you more on that later, though.
Absolutely. So we're getting close here. I'm keeping my eye. Should I turn the sound on so that looks like something's happening? So why don't we go to the main view here, and then I'll put the sound on, and we'll check out what's going on. Let me do this.
Good move.
Yep. And sound.
Does that mean their prior sponsors were not the best sponsors ever? Like last year's sponsors were not the best ones ever? Because clearly this year's are, which meant last year's weren't. Hey, Seuss. Dan. Wow, this is quite the group. The community speaks. Ernie. You want to talk about an industry veteran. This man, he's been around since the beginning, and he's been he's one of these guys who's public and behind the scenes, and he does a lot of really amazing
Go
stuff.
Cowboys.
They are. Holy cow.
Go Cowboys. How did that even get on the screen?
I've known you kind of put it up. I've known JR 20 plus years. JR is a rock star, man.
Who shot JR, since he's talking about that? soon. Yeah, So so Ian was right. We're now.
That's right, Ian. Congratulations, you win nothing, but it was great.
You were bold enough to put in the comments, and we recognize you for it.
You win the
Hey, my
satisfaction of
friend.
being right.
That's for you, JR. Jesus.
Oh, this has got to be Bob. Jesus.
No, it is, because he actually said
It's
hi
Bob.
to Ed Sullivan, and they're both Radiant 6 vets. That's the hidden
That's the
sauce to
giveaway.
everything is hidden key to everything is Radiant 6.
There's going to be a lot of catching up after this event.
I was going to say that we'll do a special happy hour for people who want to catch up.
So Ian is saying 1 o'clock would be what is that?
too generous because of what he won.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, which is pretty much nothing.
You're right. Okay, Ian, you owe us $50,000. How's that? If that was too generous, if you didn't win anything.
So do you think we'll be go in by 12:50?
You know what?
What do you mean by
taking
go?
that one. Define
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So, Hassan Minhaj and Soledad O'Brien. I don't know him. I certainly know who she is, of course.
Oh, he had a show called The Patriot Act.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, now I know who he is. All right, thank you.
Patriot Act.
Yeah. So they concluded the show. He had a kid, and then now he's back out doing variety of commercials and back on the stage, being a comedian. So good to see him back out in the world again.
So why don't we people put in the comments? What time do you think we're gonna actually go? What time do you think this is gonna kick off? Start putting some bets on there.
Eastern time zone, please. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
Eastern
Eastern
time.
time zone, please.
Right.
And whoever is the first one to be right will just have the great satisfaction of knowing you were the first one to be right.
Once again, another great prize from the CRM Playaz.
Doesn't that want to make you come back over and over again?
That's right. Only one. There's a band on stage.
So do we think we're going to start with the traditional Ohana messaging this year?
I'm
Or
afraid
will we
so.
wait?
I hope not, but I'm afraid so.
How could they not? It's been like 20 straight years, right?
I mean, I like it, but I don't like it every year. I have to say that, but I do like it.
All right, Christy's in for 12:53. Bob is saying 101.
101,
man,
nice. I like
fast
that.
now. What's going on? That's a good one. Wait a minute, I keep getting that one. Alex Montero.
Okay, Alex is 12:55.
Paul is 12:51. All right, so there's a couple with 12:51. Jesus is going. What is it? The Price is Right now?
It is The Price is Right. Absolutely, absolutely. Every crapshoot game should have Price is Right rules.
Oh, there it is. We need you know what, Anand, you could be our Don Pardo. You've got the voice for it.
I've been told that.
Armin is kind of lost. Yeah, we're kind of just filling in right now.
It's all right.
What's going on?
No lack of filling anything.
That's okay, Carmen. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, just stick with us. You'll be all right. Dollar on the wow, we even got the come line going here. It's interesting.
Serious crap.
Boy, do I miss
Trailblazers,
you.
because
Oh.
Dreamforce is coming to you.
Oh, are we? Wait a minute. What
Are we
time?
starting?
We're starting?
We've got some tips to improve your
I think we're starting.
experience.
This is new.
So let's get your desk Astro approved. Remove that old coffee cup and that day old snack and clean off that desk. Really clean it off. Put away the post-it notes. Scrap the to-do list and no texting. In fact, put your mobile phone in a drawer. Go ahead in the drawer all the way.
So
We really
does
don't
Carmen
want
win
you to be
since she said now it
Next,
started?
own your
Yeah.
space so you can
He's the only one who got it
improve
right.
Close the door to your room
Good job, Carmen.
and make that space totally yours. Not only will you retain more information,
Hey, Brian.
Wow, Brian Summers.
The man. This is going to be
We'll all
good.
drink
Now
Dr.
grab your
We'll all drink
headphones and buy
Dr.
the biggest screen
Pepper.
possible. You
Sorry,
don't
Dr.
wanna miss
Pepper.
any of the epic inspiration about to take place. Test your internet and reduce your bandwidth. Close your tabs. Pause your download. Slow connections are brutal, especially in the middle of an amazing experience like this. Now, go grab a giant glass of water. Gotta stay hydrated. Glug, glug, glug. Okay, Trailblazers, you did it. Your desk is officially Astro approved. Now, let's get this party started.
Okay.
Here it is. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Hassan Minhaj. Dreamforce, success anywhere, Dreamforce everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Actually, everywhere. Like here. Hello, everyone out there on Salesforce Plus. Pay attention. I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm here. You can clearly see me. Below me is the guide to what's live right now. You can scroll ahead and see what's coming. And right now, there are 4 buttons. Okay? One for each channel. There's Primetime, Customer 360, Industries, and Trailblazer. It's like 1951. There are only 4 channels, but unlike 1951, it's in color. Now, over to my left, you can click Join Chat and enter your name to engage with fellow attendees, find links to additional content, and who knows, you may even recognize an old friend. This is your front row seat to Dreamforce 2021. You can catch all the luminary speakers, customer success, and groundbreaking innovation from anywhere. So stay here for original series featuring inspiring trailblazers, famous comedians, business leaders, and so much more. Click the Dreamforce button above me because this is the Dreamforce experience. You're here, I'm here, so stay right where you are.
So that was the opening gun for Salesforce Plus right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
With more instructions.
It's okay. I mean, you know, look, I'm sort of one of these total sympathizers on this attempt they're making. I really like it.
I want to see it work.
Oh, you see that conversation?
I agree.
with
It's just,
Jason?
yeah.
That's Bill Patterson's conversation.
Hi,
Jason
I'm Hassan
Sudeikis.
Minhaj. Dreamforce, success anywhere, Dreamforce everywhere. And I mean everywhere.
What?
Actually, everywhere. Like here.
Why are they repeating it?
Hello, everyone out there on Salesforce Plus. Pay attention. I'm going to show you how this works.
Oh,
there's
so
one.
I'm here. You can clearly see me. Below me is the guide to what's live right now. You can scroll ahead and see what's coming.
You know why
And
they're
right
repeating
now,
it,
there
I
are 4
bet?
buttons. Okay? One
Notice
for each
what's
channel.
going on in the
Primetime,
lower right?
Customer
Sign
360,
language,
Industries, and
Yeah, they didn't have it on the first one.
It's like 1951. There are only
okay.
4 channels, but unlike
Good catch.
1951, it's in color.
I'm guessing.
Now, over to my left,
that would
you can
make
click Join Chat and enter your
Brent,
name.
do they
to
have
engage
a
with
closed
fellow attendees,
caption?
find links to
We're
additional
going to be talking
content.
about broadcasting. Do
Who
they have a
knows?
closed
You
caption
may
option
even
on
recognize
the?
an old friend. This is
for it.
your
I'd
front
find
row
it.
seat to Dreamforce
I know.
2021. You can catch all the luminary speakers, customer success, and groundbreaking innovation from anywhere.
I'm
So stay
almost
here for the
100%
series featuring
convinced
inspiring trailblazers,
because of
famous
that.
comedians, business
would
leaders,
make
and
sense.
so much more.
He
Click the
started
Dreamforce
repeating it
button
at
above
12:53 because Christy's still trying to win. Trying to win nothing. That's the good thing about it.
I'm here.
Congrats, Christy, you won.
You won again.
Alan.
Yeah,
Nice.
Ted Lasso tonight at 8 p.m. Well, that's Jason Sudeikis.
That's funny. Okay, here we go. Is that Leah?
I think so.
Sounds like her.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
that's her. Just by the way she's running.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
off to a
Of
good
course.
start.
There she
She
is.
always
Yeah.
brings it. Man, she's hyped up.
I am Leah McGowan here, and I am here with thousands of trailblazers live on Howard Street in San Francisco. My God, what an incredible moment this is. This is absolutely incredible. Why? Because, we weren't sure if this was going to happen, but we stayed steadfast and we manifested this moment. And I don't know about you, but I have learned over this last year not to take moments like this for granted. Hello, am I the only one? So allow me to soak all of this up. Let me marinate in all of this love. We are raising the frequency of positivity. Hello.
She's a good way to start
We
it
are
off.
joined
She's
by
got the positivity.
millions of viewers online.
Salesforce is the only company that would actually have a conversation starting out with "we manifested this moment."
Yes.
Right? It's like I like that. They're the only company that would even say that.
Like Dreamforce and on-demand content. Now listen to me. Salesforce Plus is an absolute game changer. You don't want to sleep on it. It is going to be amazing. Now, before we go any further, I want to take a moment to thank all of our service and essential workers. Yes. Because without them, this moment would not be possible. They have worked long and hard to ensure that we could gather together safely. Because safety of our trailblazers.
Not yet, Jeff. We're working on it. Believe me, I'm sure we'll launch a show about it at some point.
So do me a favor. Y'all listen, do me a favor. When you see them out there keeping our areas clean or keeping us secure, and even the healthcare workers swiping your nose every day, say thank you. I appreciate you. Don't say it while they're swiping your nose, because that would be awkward, right? Now, you know, with Salesforce Plus, we're going to be taking the magic of Dreamforce to all of our viewers out there around the world, meeting them where they're at, whether they're at their kitchen table or on their couch. That, my friends, is the beauty of this new world we are living in. And speaking of beauty, it is a beautiful thing when people come together to make things happen, like our amazing sponsors, IBM. Give it up for IBM, one of our
So does anybody know how many people are actually in person? I mean, I kind of saw like a panned out
The
shot.
number I originally heard they were aiming at was, I don't know if they got it, was 5,000 total. But I don't know if that's 5,000 here though.
I think it might have. I heard they may have trimmed that down.
Yeah, I think they trimmed it down. I know the protocols that everybody had to go through.
And when I think of trust,
I'm actually surprised it's not passed.
Are our trailblazers. Because
no one in that audience wearing a mask. Well, I mean,
it is
one
our
or two.
trailblazer.
There's a guy right there, the camera dude.
Trust.
He had a mask.
Yeah, I think the staff might be, but the audience itself didn't seem to have very many.
No.
Staff pro, yeah.
And you know what? Yes, give it up for yourselves.
200. Alex is thinking it's 200. I mean, that probably looks more.
12. No, that's what that is. Yeah, I don't think there was 5,000 there, but I don't know. I know that was the number they were originally
You know,
shooting.
and because you all are our heart, we want to share our heart with the world.
Okay, well there you go.
And I can't
Could be
tell you
1,000.
the amount
1,000.
of pride
All right.
I am about this.
Man, they're so
We are
500.
Oh wow!
See, we did the pool for the wrong thing. It wasn't. We should have done it for the start time. It should have been how many people were actually in person attending Dreamforce.
We'll put them all in a jar.
Man. What do you
We'll
expect?
put them all in a jar and count them.
Well, this will be the
No,
first
we
time
don't.
you can actually get a hotel.
So
in,
there's the
There's the
definitive
official
answer.
word.
Oh, there's the official word.
Yeah.
Okay.
700.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Yes.
Yeah.
Tenacity and how they tapped into the power of the trailblazer community to change their trajectory of their careers and their lives. And I'm telling you, when you watch this series, you are going to walk away feeling like you've seen a piece of yourself, because I know we have all been through something. We have persevered through something and come out better on the other end. Don't leave me up here alone on that one. Yes. And these trailblazers have too. And your cup of inspiration is going to be overflowing. But you know what? I don't want to talk about it. Y'all want to see a trailblazer? You want to see a trailer? You want to see a trailer? You want to see a trailer?
Somebody say yes, please.
Let's roll the trailer. Go ahead.
Growing up reading comic books, I always read about people that were inventing things, working on cool projects, collaborating, teaming up.
These individuals can bend the universe, control time, space, and map out their destiny to be whatever they wanted it to be.
My mom is my superhero. I've seen her struggle when she's failed. I've seen her try again.
It's all about just taking charge of your own life, just being in control of what comes next. When you take a chance on yourself, there's always that possibility that you won't make it.
Why do I want to pursue this? What do I want to do with it? How far do I want to take it? once I got the job, it felt liberating. It's real and I do belong here. It's definitely going to be worth it for yourself, for your family. The sky's the limit. 4 years to get here, it's paid off.
My heart is filled with so much pride seeing that. Amazing. You all are going to love it. You just saw a sneak little teaser into this Trailblazer series that's featuring the lives of Marciana Davis, Tiffany Spencer, Aaron McGriff, Brian Owens, and Marquita Cedarberg. Now, they're all out here. You can hear them, right? They are out here. I see you, boo. Now, I want to call to the stage a special one, Miss Marquita Cedarberg. Please welcome to... It's weird. I can't hug her. I can't. I'll ear hug.
Air hugs.
Thank you so much for being here and traveling here with your family. Why don't you tell the audience, the global audience, a little bit about your Trailblazer journey?
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. My journey started 5 years ago when I said it was time to make a change. After being in the service industry for more than 15 years, I wanted to pursue a career I could be passionate about. So I quit my job and went back to school for software development. Now, I didn't like it from the start, but I toughed it out and graduated. It didn't lead to a job right away, though. Later, I found the Salesforce Women in Tech community group. And that's when I learned to build my first app on Trailhead. But the game changer was the Salesforce Pathfinder program. There was Trailhead structured to get you certified. That was the end goal. And that's how I became a Salesforce admin. Fast forward a bit, and now I'm a business analyst with Liberty Mutual. And the success I found there has led to an internship for Pathfinders within the company. Now life is great. And speaking of Pathfinder, my husband learned Salesforce and became certified with the program as well. During the lockdown phase of COVID, he crushed it, earned 5 certifications, and is now an architect. He's right over there. So we're here today as a Salesforce family.
Yeah, y'all are just doing it and doing it well. Okay. Well, what advice would you give to our global audience?
I'd say wherever you are, whoever you are, know you can do this. Imagine where you want to be and keep your end game in mind. Also, think about why you want to do it. For me, if I had just given up, I'd probably still be waiting for my first table to sit down or my last table to leave. Know that the work will be challenging, but you have to learn to find the value in being challenged. I love that every day brings something new now. If you get discouraged, think about the most successful person that you know, and then picture them on day one of their journey. They didn't start out with everything they need, and neither will you. And that's okay. Just always remember your why. That's going to be your driving force.
Yes.
I totally agree with you, Bob, on that.
To employers out there, look to programs like Pathfinder to diversify your talent pipeline. You'll find there's a wealth of individuals that are not only equipped with these technical skills, but they'll be bringing a vault of knowledge that they've acquired from past experiences and roles that are technical and non-technical alike. They'll be an immediate value add to your organizations immediately.
Absolutely. Oh, Marquita, thank you so much.
That's a good story. And it's great because they provided an opportunity and these folks took advantage of it.
This is where I'm going to need some audience participation. I'm going to want you to close
Especially
your eyes.
when
you hear the audience say open, then you open them. Because I got
Trailhead has been out there to teach people the technical
skills,
skills, but being able to pull it together so people have the direction they actually needed, not just to learn the tech, but to learn the skills for a particular job title and get out there. Super important.
No, I thought that was really great.
You can bank on the experience.
Getting the gold hoodie. This is cool.
Honey, every superhero needs a cape, okay?
American Got Talent, Golden Buzzer, man.
Put it on.
This is a TV show. This is a broadcast.
This is.
They're going.
Now I need you to do a power pose. I need a superhero pose. You better work the stage. Pose. Yes. Yes. Yes.
She had that one in mind. Good one.
Yeah.
That's great.
Don't get me up here crying, girl, because I have my makeup done.
I liked Ernie's comment earlier. Rather than talking about Ohana, they
Thank you, Leah.
Show it.
Share it. Show it. Yes, exactly, Rebecca.
And it's also just a smart thing to do because we all hear about the shortages in certain skill sets. They're creating opportunity, but they're also creating, fulfilling needs of their customer base. So
that's smart. Are we ready for some more fun?
Hey, Fiona.
Let me hear this side say more and this side say fun. All right. Good. You guys are good. Good.
It is kind of harder to have that impact outside. I mean, they needed to do it, obviously, but imagine if they were in a smaller room and then were able to do everything they're doing. It would just be such a magnifying.
So let's give a shout out and a warm gratitude to Deloitte for being an amazing sponsor.
You're kind of optimizing it though for the outdoor environment, which is bring it down to the ground level, right?
Right.
What they're
and
doing
we do have more fun. We're going to have a special performance by Metallica. They are a legendary band. Yes. That, has become synonymous with Dreamforce. MVPs. But here's something I bet you did not know. Did you know they run a small business on the Salesforce platform? I know. Shut the front door. What?
I'm so glad that the interpreter, the sign language interpreter, gets a break.
They use the customer 360 to build trusted
They're tag teaming, thank goodness,
with their fan base. And
you all know
quite their fan base is global.
Yeah, David, I totally agree with you.
So that's got to be strong. And this engagement and these connections that they made have served.
And those tears are real.
Keeping their music
She hasn't fake tears.
Out the pandemic.
When you were talking, she was talking about how she wanted to have a cool Denzel
tear.
They
also use their business as a platform for change. See, during the height of the pandemic, they use their platform to host a series of streaming events that help to raise money
going to come out here
and
start shredding here.
reliefs. Now, if that's not using your business as a
happened
platform
before.
for change, I don't know what is. So with that, let's check out a special performance by Metallica.
Yep, sure enough.
Inner Sandman. Where's Mariano Rivera? We need him.
Hey there, Dreamforce 2021. Thank you to Salesforce.
Where are they?
And all you trailblazers around the world watching. This one's for you.
Looks kind of dark.
Yeah, it looks like the sun setting.
Yeah.
Oh, I recognize that observatory.
Where is it?
I'm going to assume it's in California, but if anybody knows, I'd love to hear. I'd like to confirm that.
Like the sun's either rising or setting. I don't know which, but
I wonder if they timed it for that too. Do you think it just happened to work out?
I would not. I wouldn't be surprised.
Look
at this. Watch Jimmy Kimmel live.
I know that was weird.
Spots now.
So they're in front of an. We could find out in a minute if we can get a better view of the building. They're in front of an observatory.
No, but did you catch the little commercial?
Yeah,
for
watch Jimmy Kimmel. Yep.
It's actually a famous place because it's in a Star Trek episode. So it was in Charlie's Angels.
Oh, Presidio. That's what I thought.
Presidio. Yeah, there you go.
Ah.
Am I saying Griffin Park? Easy.
Griffin Park.
Probably Mila.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I'm sure they'll. You know, it'd be funny. We'll get them in, and then they'll come in third.
It's interesting too how they're bringing in the sponsors. Like the mention of Deloitte and the mention of IBM, making this much more of a broadcast format than you would hear them mentioning sponsors if we were there in person.
Trust I see, and I find in you.
This is interesting. Obviously, they hit a chord with this business analyst. Bring that business analyst out.
It was an important chord. It actually
Yeah.
set the stage for what could be really good hour and 45 minutes. So starting with that, yeah, it's great.
There it is. Who said Griffith Observatory?
A couple of people.
Yeah, a couple of
That's
people
LA.
now. Yeah, that's LA. Yeah.
I'll take them. No, what's the band that introduced Pega?
Oh, the Dropkick Murphys.
Right, that's who would beat them, right? The Dropkick Murphys would beat Metallica in the BYOB 2022.
I don't know. I thought maybe the Layer Cakes might.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
they can be. Layer Cakes would come in first anyway. Earth Quarter.
Is that a group or something?
I don't know, but it sounds like it should be, or else another one of our show names. Right.
How big is your journal, Paul, of creative names for the shows at this point?
I'm just, as I see them, I'm
Volumes and volumes.
I'm sure it's all being recorded there.
Yeah, it will be. Just basically watch the beginning of the whole thing for about 5 minutes, and you'll be into it.
Yep.
I wonder if you get a break, considering they can play wherever they happen to be, and pre-recorded versus live on stage in front of an audience at a particular time.
I don't know.
If anybody wants to know, Alan just dropped a link into the comments, so you can go there to figure out where this place.
That's the actual Griffith Observatory. Thank you, Kim. I'm serious. It's funny just from this perspective. I mean, right now we're not at the meat of the discussion, but I'm really intrigued by how Salesforce Plus is handling all of this. Because this is their inaugural, show. So, I mean, I can't say it's anything exceptional so far. It isn't, but at the same time, it's interesting to see what they're doing. I think it's a really important. It's going to be even though they kind of highlight a little bit, I think it's going to be the understated thing of importance that will be going on throughout this whole event. Will be what Salesforce Plus does with it.
Stay tuned.
Starts to solve a fundamental problem on content distribution. Begins to.
This is actually sounding pretty good.
Yeah.
The quality is good, yeah.
Funny. I when Metallica was at its height, I didn't love them that much. I thought they were fine, but I like them better now that and they are older, right? So I was never a giant fan of theirs, but I did like them.
I know you liked at least one of their songs. You heard them?
Well, yeah, of course I did. It's obviously the greatest song of all time because it was tied to the greatest release picture of all time. A little bit more on the this part.
Yes. Thank you, Metallica, for that amazing performance.
Mixing
And
a nice
I
little
also
commercial
want to
there.
give a huge gobbles of gratitude to our sponsor, Accenture, who without their support, this would not be happening. So give it up for Accenture. Now, this would not be a Salesforce event without the forward-looking statement. Okay, come on, y'all.
Now it's getting
It
real.
hasn't been that long, has it? The
That's worthy of a
forward-looking
chant.
statement. Now, listen, you all are going to hear some amazing announcements this week, some innovations. But just like with any business, there are risks and things change. So please make your purchasing decision based off of what is readily available, which I must say is pretty awesome. Now, before we head out and feast,
that is the
on
best
all the
comment
goodness
on
of
forward-looking statements
Dreamforce,
I've heard in a long
we have to
time.
bless it, just like you would
See,
an
now you're
email.
going to make us
And I
do
am
who has
honored
the
to
best
bring
comment.
to the stage to
comment.
be filled with a beautiful blessing by Danny and Anna Akaka.
Oh, we are having them today.
They're doing it. Oh, well.
Hey, you know.
No, they're lovely people. I have nothing. I'm really not happy to see it.
It might be shorter.
Again.
What's the guy that also comes out, the guitar player guy? Remember that guy?
Yeah.
JB something.
Yeah.
They changed the way that they do airline safety, instructions. Why not forward-looking statements?
Jeff.
LT Smooth.
Thank you.
Something smooth.
John, you were on today. Thank you, sir. Setting it straight.
Might I add, he grew up a Rams fan too.
I have to say, this is arguably the most alcoholic comment segment I've ever seen in my life. so much potential drinking going on in there. It's amazing. Yeah. Thanks.
Wow.
That would be Kaltura's event.
Roman
like
Gabriel.
Yes. Aloha to all
Wow.
of you.
Where is that coming,
so nice
Ernie?
to be back in San
Ernie,
Francisco.
homework, man.
To be outdoors. It's almost like being at home in Hawaii. It's so nice to be back again and to continue these gatherings, even though it's small, but in a safe way. We would like to.
I think they started a drinking game in the comment section.
Share our aloha with you. The lei has always been a symbol of one's love and one's connection for another. The mailele is a lei I'm wearing now represents the piko, that umbilical cord that connects one to another spiritually, as well as to those who have passed and those yet to come. And so we would like to express our aloha and present a song to you all, an ohula, straight from Hawaii to you. I'll weave a lei, a beautiful lei for you to greet you.
I don't think I've ever seen that lady without a really big smile on her face.
I know.
Straight from Hawaii
lovely.
to you.
Yeah, they really do.
I wonder how old they are.
I'll take my heart and blend it into this lei. My message of flowers to you.
Everyone get his leg.
If they did that, I'd be losing it too.
just vision. Lazy days beside the sea, 'neath the swaying cocoa trees, and they're woven just for you. And now I give with heavenly bliss this lay to you with a warm, gentle kiss. Straight from Hawaii to you. Just vision. Lazy days beside the sea, 'neath the swaying cocoa trees.
See, this is one of those things that it's kind of tough to translate virtually and get the same feeling as if you're there.
For you. And now I give with heavenly bliss this lay to you with a warm, gentle kiss.
Wow, really?
That's coming. Wow.
Straight from Hawaii to you. Straight from Hawaii. Straight from Hawaii.
I'll say this: Mark is one of the. If you're his friend, you're his friend for life. I do appreciate that about him.
Welcome back to Dreamforce 2021, and aloha, San Francisco, and to the ohana that we have come here to share our aloha with. Mahalo.
I mean, I get everybody's point, and again, my own being, I don't think we need to do this every year, but the thing is, you're such nice people, you feel really bad about saying anything like that. Really? I'm not kidding. They're lovely human beings, and it's obvious. And so I don't even want to say anything like, okay, don't do this anymore, because they're so nice.
Yeah. And Alan, you wrote a book. It covers like half the screen up, so I can only put it up for so long. Nice long thought there.
Beautiful. How can your spirit not be filled after that? I'm telling you, don't take these moments for granted. Take it all in and remember this. This is amazing.
Hey, George.
It's beautiful. Now, my friends, my time has come to an end, and it is time to officially start Dreamforce 2021. Let's go.
Well, they picked the right
About
person to
124.
start that. Yeah.
It's always someday.
Here we go.
Someday, the way we work will change. Someday, we'll
It will be interesting to think about this entire event in terms of the tempo. Like, do they intentionally, keep the tempo high, then low, then wide, low, or is it? I wonder if they just kind of architected that, or was it put together?
We are responsible for what it.
It's kind of part of the emotional connection you want to have with a show or a broadcast, anyway.
Someday became today.
And
while we may have gotten
we were pretty briefed yesterday, which we'll have to let it unfold here on theme. They've kind of talked about it in the very beginning already. Which was, if you look at the very beginning of the presentation today, was talking about trusted enterprise. It was on one of the slides.
We didn't need a new version.
This tempo doesn't. I don't know if they deliberately did that or not, but this tempo does not cohere with that per se.
I'm just cutting the sound while this video is playing. But feel free to talk.
Yeah. It's just. Look, I will say this. If the pre-brief was any is what we actually see. They're taking an approach that I think will be substantially important for companies to pay attention to, and not the approach of the last few years either. I won't say any more than that, but I think this was just just some prelude, really. I don't know that if I'm them, I'm cutting that in half. I would have stopped with business analyst really and just started the Dreamforce event.
Yeah, when you see it starts at 12:45, you kind of think the real deal is starting at 12:45. Remember when we go to the physical Dreamforce, they do have that pre-event thing, the pre-show.
Right.
But when you put it out that it's going to start at 12:45, you kind of think the real deal is going to be starting right around 12:45.
The expectations for a physical event versus a virtual event and timing are very different.
All right, Andrew. See you later, my friend.
Later.
This is a little weird to me here.
The offer of 12 months for Disney Plus, if you watch the keynote, is blowing up the channel with thousands of people log in. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Dreamforce. All right. What a day! What?
Where is he?
What happened?
Oh.
Is that them?
I think so. I didn't do anything. Let me see. Maybe my browser needs to be refreshed.
Yeah, you need to refresh them.
Just as he was getting started. Talk about really bad timing. All right, here we go.
There's their chat too. I wonder if that's slowing them down.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
San Francisco. We couldn't be more thrilled to be right back here where it all started. And, now normally my keynote is...
Yes, David. Oh my gosh, those guys.
Here, right? I think I kind of like this better, actually. So I really do. I like this better. Well, we have got a great Dreamforce put together for you. And so we have a lot to talk about. It's really exciting. We're going to go... So the whole thing. Let me just say that we've been on the road actually for a couple of weeks, and we've been talking to trailblazers all over the country, actually all over the world, and some digitally, some physically. And we've been talking. Here's our presentation. Here's what we think we're going to say at Dreamforce. Here's our ideas, and then you know what those trailblazers do? They tell you the truth at that point. They tell you the truth. They clean it up for you. That's what trailblazers do. They clean it up. We're going to talk about trailblazers because as we ended up with the presentation, and the keynote today is called Welcome to the Trusted Enterprise. Because we think there's a pretty big change going on in the world.
What's old is new again.
Change going on in the world. I think all of us are feeling it already. Well, we're already feeling the change. And as we've been traveling around talking to trailblazers, well, it's been really reinforced to us. Indeed, there is a huge change that is going on. And we believe that change is the change and transformation and evolution and inspiration into the trusted enterprise. But ultimately, that trusted enterprise, we learned, is going to be built by you, by all of you, our trailblazers. And that the one thing that we really loved as we traveled around was reconnecting with all of you, reconnecting with each and every one of you. So many of you now are with us here in person. We have about 1,000 people here, and we have millions of people joining us online and trailblazers all over the world. And we want to welcome you as well. So thank you so much for being with us today. Look, we're here to inspire you, to energize you, to motivate you, to excite you. We're here to transform you. That is what we are here to do. But before we can do any of those things, we have to thank you. We have to thank each and every one of you for everything that you have done for us every single day. Thank you. During all of this time where we have been apart, And yet we
Still
have been
haven't gotten
together.
a good look either.
We want to thank you for everything that you've done because we've watched you. We know everything that you have been through.
Every one of you. Thank you.
We have been through it with you.
It keeps going.
And now
Thanks
we are
everybody
here
in the world.
together again. That we're coming back.
He is much
together.
better when he has a
This is
in-person
so
audience in front of him.
You know, as we thought
such
about
a
Dreamforce,
change.
we're like, yes, we're going to do
Such a
Dreamforce. We're going to do it
more
outside
energy,
at
more
Moscone
focus.
Center.
He can,
you know, Metallica's going to do a song. Then we're going to have Danny and Anna come out. We're going to have our customers here. We're going to talk about all the incredible things that are happening. We wanted to make sure that this Dreamforce was incredible and like no other. That it would be like no other. And we have an incredible program put together for you today. And we're delivering it on Salesforce Plus. And we've got 4 channels, 150 sessions, 160,000 viewers happening today.
Wow.
124 hours of content, 100 sponsors. We've got an incredible program put together for you today. So it's all going to happen here physically, and it's all going to happen digitally as well. And this is part of the new world that we're in, and we all know that. But it is good to be back together, isn't it? It feels good to be back together, doesn't it? Yeah, it feels good to be back together. And we're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate that because we are going to inspire and educate and entertain, but we are also going to make sure we deliver some great entertainment. And tonight we have the Foo Fighters
nailed
here.
it with those 3 words, man. Inspire,
that'll be a
educate,
great
and
concert.
entertain. That's what
Foo
you do.
Fighters will be here,
With
and so
speeches.
tune in on Salesforce Plus. It's going to be magical. We love Dave Grohl. You know, one of our loved him when he was drumming for Nirvana and now leading his band with the Foo Fighters today.
That's what he said.
Incredible, one of the greatest musicians on the planet, and he's here. So we know he's not his first Dreamforce, you know. Now look,
And playing
we
the
have got a lot
role of
to talk
troll,
about the Dreamforce.
Martin Schneider.
We have a lot of programs, a lot of new products, a lot of new technology, a lot of new capability. There is a lot of things happening at Dreamforce, so you should be aware of that. But the most exciting thing that's happening
He's
at
got to do the walk
Dreamforce
around.
is that all of our account executives are here and all of our teams are here, and we're going to put together and package these components of Dreamforce exactly for you. And we have a program that we ran last year, and we're going to run it again this year. And this is the first of 100,000 Dreamforces. And we're going to create the entertainment, the energy, the excitement, the motivation, everything that comes with Dreamforce targeted for you and your company. So this will be an opportunity for you to exactly articulate what is it that you want? What do you want from us right now? And we're going to put that together and then be able to deliver that back to you, your company, your teams, your organizations. So pull from us and tell us what you want. You're going to see all kinds of things. And then go back and then say, this is the Dreamforce that I want to me. This is a key part of the offering of this program. Now look, this is Dreamforce. This is unusual. It's going to be a big program this week. We're going to do a lot together. There's no question we're going to do a lot. But the one thing that we're going to do is we're going to build more trust between each other just by being together. I know that when I'm with Trailblazers and when I'm able to bring these Trailblazers together and when we start to come together, it feels like it's
Mark at Oracle.
incredible economy of trust.
She was one of the
that is
earliest
happening.
employees of Oracle, now a
Salesforce
thought
isn't just
leader.
a business, it's an economy of trust. And there's 15
people-centered
million
internet she
Trailblazers
does
all
with
over the
Vince
world.
Cerf.
Yes,
Trying to bring
we have 1,000 right here. But there's
connectivity
15 million online right
ubiquitously
now as
pretty
well.
much to
So are
all
we
the
keeping all of
underserved.
them in our hearts as well as we're here? So we're here with you today, and we're here with all of you.
We repeated
online,
economies
all
of trust,
50 million
economy of
you
trust
as well. Okay,
a
so
couple of
we've
times.
got an incredible group of
Well,
Trailblazers, and
the thing
our
is,
partners are here
he's doing
here too,
exactly what
and our
needs,
partners
he's
are
saying
Trailblazers.
exactly what needs to be said
Now,
right
when I
now.
think
I mean,
about the power
think
of
of the
Trailblazers,
last year and a half and what's
when I think about everything
let's
that
say
Trailblazers
related,
have done
but
in
what's
the
been
world,
the theme of the last year and a half here in business? Empathy.
I don't think that
Empathy.
Trailblazers
Yep.
have a lot
Exactly
of fear
what
that they can't get
foundation
things done.
for the trusted
I
enterprise
don't think that
is. right?
Trailblazers
So
are worried, can I get
even if we
this
never hear the
done?
word empathy,
I
they're
think
nailing what they
Trailblazers'
need to
fear.
nail when it comes to how to be thinking.
I think
Why B
Trailblazers'
Corps
fear
are
is that they
becoming a
can do
thing now,
anything
right? I
they
mean,
want to do.
it's a pretty
Anything
big
they put
deal.
their mind to.
But he hasn't used the word
Anything they
empathy.
establish
No,
their
not a
intent
bit.
Not at
to.
all. Yeah, it's well.
And they
And
have
you know
created
what?
Good observation. Yeah.
Haven't heard him
It's
use that at
overused.
all.
You look
He's
at the
It's been
good.
incredible
overused, yeah.
market share that
Yeah.
Salesforce has
They're
been
basically taking
able to
empathy and
achieve.
putting
It is
it in the
because of our
context
trailblazers. You
to
look
his
at the
overall point
Demonstrating.
always of,
performance
right,
that we've
and
been able to
and
achieve.
institutionalizing it
$6.3
too.
billion this
Yeah.
year.
That's
Right
right.
from the beginning with that
Because
story
of
of the
trailblazers,
lady
and we
who
know
her and
that.
her
And
husband
of
got
course,
certified
our
during the
commitment
pandemic.
that business is the greatest platform for
I'm
change.
going to hire a husband.
We
5
know
certifications.
that for trailblazers, and when we go out and say, how can we make the world better? How can we commit to improving the state of the world? How do we repair the world? That we're not only just doing well, but we're doing good at the same time. And this is a critical part of who we are at Salesforce. When you look at the top 100 companies that care by People, or most sustainable company by Barron's, or one of the most important companies in the world to work
Gotta get
for
those
by
stats out
Fortune,
there.
that we want to do well and we want to do good. And you can see that now as I deploy our 1-1-1 model that, way back
The
when
guy's
Parker
signing.
and I
He's
started the
really
company
like throwing
22 years
himself
ago,
into
we
it.
put 1%
Oh my
of our
gosh, he's got that
equity,
intensity as
time,
he.
and
He
time into
does.
the
It's
foundation.
amazing.
It
How
is.
that
I had to
together?
zoom in just to see that.
Well, we've done about a half
The
$1
good
million
ones do
in
that
grants.
though.
Oh, they do. That's right. They try to
6.2 million
reflect.
hours
He's
of
giving the
volunteerism
speech
so
that Mark's
far. We've
giving
made
right now, the
51,000
same way.
nonprofit education
Completely
for free on our
invested in it.
service.
Might be wearing the same
And
sneakers.
we have an endowment now of over $400
doubt
million,
that.
including
I
$54
doubt
million
there can
from
possibly be 2 of
Slack.
those,
So
or
thank you
4
to
of them,
Slack
I
for
should
adding
say.
to our
There are
foundation.
2.
And we just eclipsed giving $100 million to our local San Francisco and Oakland schools, our public schools.
That's pretty big.
Wow.
And this is the moment where
Wonder if he's going to
I
mention
ask
what they're
you,
doing with
and I
Texas.
know we all know there's nothing more important
paying
than
for
our
their
children's
folks.
public education, and that
I
each
hope
and every
so.
one of us needs to adopt a public school.
If he doesn't mention it after a while,
During
you
this
should,
time of
Brent.
pandemic, our public schools
Hey,
need
Mark,
more
by
than
the way,
ever. So please get
I have
out
a
there
direct
and
link
adopt
in the
a
Mark,
public
by the
school
way.
and work with them and make sure that
I
you're
thought he was
doing
on
everything
third on your
you can
speed
to
dial.
make sure that our public education system is
That's how I.
working.
That's how I promote you, right?
I've adopted right here locally our
You're the only
Presidio
Anybody have
Middle
anything
School.
that they actually call a speed dial?
Go out and adopt a public school. And you know that that's not
I
the
guess
first time
Sven
we
has
said
written
this.
something
Ben
on
has a
trust.
site
We
with
haven't
trust.
said any of this.
Yeah,
In fact, you could probably all
I
do this
trust Sven on
presentation
that.
without me at this
I
point.
do.
Is that fair? Is that right? Am I right? Because we are trailblazers together. We are pioneers. We are
Wouldn't
leaders.
say.
We're inspiring each other. We are seeding trust with each other. We are the conduit of trust between our company and our customers as trailblazers. There's no question about it. Those 15 million trailblazers, the 1,300 community groups in 90 countries, it's amazing to see what you're doing out in the world.
From the
That is
standpoint
what's
of a
really
mission,
exciting.
yeah,
So,
they do.
this is by
They
far
should
my
be.
favorite moment.
Well, they do. They just
in the
absolutely
program.
do. Part of the way you gain trust is
that
by
have-
aligning values,
We'll find
really,
all of
and
you.
then doing the right thing.
So let's take a look
Right.
at what you have been doing since we saw you last.
Been studying it since
2020
2006.
for me,
Marty.
even though the world was crumbling and I was even on bed rest for 3 months out of the year, it was my growth year. That was the year that I became the woman that I am today.
Really love being able to come here every morning, just basically innovate in my own way.
Of course, I got all my Salesforce plushies up here.
Oh, wow.
One thing I
Wow.
always love about the Trailblazer community is that kind of trailblazing spirit of giving back and helping out, and the recognition that we're all struggling right now.
During COVID, I lost my job, and that's when a friend introduced me to learning about Salesforce.
We have Chewbacca.
That's a common story.
That's my roommate.
Just from last year to now, my life has completely changed.
My lanyards from my events, this is my treasure. Us as trailblazers, we had the tools ready for us to be able to adapt our way of working.
This is where the magic happens now, thanks to the pandemic.
We're able to go into the world with confidence and build great solutions that are solving big problems as well as small problems
I've never been so supported in anything I've done in my life.
I trust this community to have my back just like I will have anyone else's back.
It's all these nice people. This isn't bullshit. It's a community.
It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how old you are.
You just reach this level of trust with people because you come to know them.
One of the best benefits of the pandemic was getting my
right again.
It's such an exciting time to be working with technology.
I was one of the lead architects on one of the COVID solutions that was rolled out across quite a few states.
The trust factor is word of mouth, right? I mean,
seeing how people are getting
Well,
their
it's
jobs.
interesting because the trust is not just with Salesforce, but with the community. You know, everybody's turning to the other community of users, not just their own company or even Salesforce.
People raising people where everyone
it's always
wants
been a
to
community-led company. That's why Salesforce Plus is even in play. It just makes a lot of sense to support that
I think that we are the future.
that asset
That's what I
of
believe
Salesforce that it has.
That's a great film. It's a great film. You know, that's a great film, and I think it speaks to the heart of the Trailblazers. I think it speaks to when we connect with each other and we realize that we're just much stronger together as Trailblazers than we are apart. And when we come together physically like this, like we're doing right now, and even when we're coming together digitally.
Who knew that Martin had a...
I was just thinking the same thing.
Spam.
We're just much stronger together, helping each other, supporting each other, and building each other up, and taking each other to a new level. That is what has been so exciting. Now, we've been given our challenges. We know that. We've been given our challenges or our opportunities. And we are definitely in a new world. We're definitely in a new world. I would say, and we've been saying this here at Dreamforce for years, it's a new world. It's probably very much a crisis of trust. And the crisis of trust that's happening in the world, well, this is something that we kind of relish as Trailblazers because we want to transform that world into a world of trust. We are trust blazers. It is our job, and what we want to do is to be able to go and repair the world and to add that trust back into it. But since we were all together, a lot has happened. So we can know we're in a pandemic crisis.
That's right, Christy. Yeah.
We're in a pandemic crisis. And as Trailblazers, we responded by building contact management systems and contact tracing systems. We responded by building vaccine management systems. We responded by doing whatever we needed to do to help the world as it was in a huge struggle. Our company and as Trailblazers, we also went out and we landed airplanes with PPE. We landed one yesterday in French Polynesia, but we've also landed one in India, in Mongolia, in London, in Detroit, in New York. It's amazing everywhere.
Fundamental.
PPE. And we helped manage the
probably already had it.
doses of the vaccine.
Feel free to
We've
check.
helped to monitor 235 contact tracing cases. So we have done a lot as Trailblazers. We do what we can. Look, we realize we cannot do everything. None of us can do everything, but we can do something. We can do something, and when we see a problem as Trailblazers, we know that there is something that we are going to do. But yes, it's a crisis of trust, and yes, we are in a pandemic, as we all know. How many times have you all been tested in the last week, huh? You all been tested a lot, right? Because we're in a pandemic, and that's what you do in a pandemic, you test. And we also know that if I was standing on this stage just a couple weeks ago, the air quality here in San Francisco probably wouldn't let me do this presentation because we had 2 million acres of wildfires going on in California alone. And we had fires all over the world, and we had floods because we are in a sustainability crisis. You know, if we go right across the Pacific Ocean here and we go to Hawaii, where Danny and Anna are from, and we were to find the Mauna Loa
Wow. Having
volcano,
real estate discussions in the
we find some
commentary.
equipment there set up in 1958 by Charles Keeling, a scientist from Caltech.
Support Logic is going to have an
And
offsite
Charles
in
Keeling, he
Buenos
went up
Aires or
there to
something.
measure CO2 in the
That's right.
atmosphere. And every single day since that moment, in
Thank you, Maylin.
1958, that CO2 has
Awesome to see
risen
you.
in the atmosphere. Why is that? Well, one is we've released about 100 gigatons of carbon since the first industrial revolution through fossil fuels and emissions. And that has raised the CO2 levels. And we did something else. Our planet had 6 trillion trees on it. Damn. 6 trillion trees. We've deforested half our planet to 3 trillion trees. So each trillion trees sequesters about 200 gigatons of carbon. So we also emitted 600 gigatons of carbon through deforestation. So when we want to know why Charles Keelan's graph is going up or why it's getting warmer, it's fossil fuels, it's emission, it's also deforestation, it's also several other things. But this is an amazing moment. As trailblazers, we have to ask, what are we going to do? It's one of the reasons why we've started 1t.org to plant 1 trillion trees. And you're going to hear some amazing accomplishments by trailblazers who've already done that. It's one of the reasons why we built our sustainability cloud and why Salesforce is already a company that is net zero and fully renewable, and why we're going to, and how we're going to all do that together. And when we look at the world and we say it's a trust crisis and it's a pandemic and it's a sustainability crisis, we also know we're also in a workforce crisis. When I talk to other CEOs and, well, how many of your employees are coming back to the office? Well, maybe about 15%, maybe 20% so far. We want to get everybody back, but they're not back yet. Well, what's happening? Well, some of them have quit. There's a great resignation going on. What else happened? Well, some of them moved. There's a great relocation going on. Wow, that's amazing. It's kind of astonishing, actually. We have never had a workforce crisis quite like this. And at a time of the workforce crisis, in the time of the sustainability crisis, in the time of the pandemic, we also have this inequality crisis because every race and every sexual orientation and every gender has had a different experience during these crises. And we all know that. And we're seeing the data on that. And as trailblazers, we have compassion for that. And we want to understand that. And we want to have a response to that that brings more equality to inequality. We know that women are 1.8 times more vulnerable to lose their jobs in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
When you add all those things up,
isn't it a shame it's a
and
new
you look at the inequality crisis that's happening.
Yeah.
New.
Well, let's just say it's a
Then we know
renewed.
we're in a trust crisis.
Yeah.
You can even see it when the IMF cannot get $50
That's a
billion
renewable.
to vaccinate the world. And that, yes, while we have, on our way to 80%.
Hey, Martin, it's actually ESG is now being included in all public reports or public companies reporting
it's not going to work.
And transparency
Because
in
that's where the
NASDAQ. They
mutations
just recently
are gonna
passed
start.
that
So we have to have
where all the
equality.
companies
We
on
have to
NASDAQ
work
have to
together.
report
We have
ESG
to
numbers now. So
find a way to transcend this trust.
got your wish
And as
or added wish.
trailblazers, we can feel it. We sense it out. We know. We're in a room. We're like, trust is the currency that we operate in.
All right.
We're looking around for trust.
He's nailing the
We're
trust
looking
as a
at
currency
where is it,
theme
where is it not?
over
And if it's
and
not
over.
there,
He's
we're
really
going to figure
drilling
out
in.
ways. How do we seed it? How do we use it to cross
I
this
remember
gap?
not too long ago, it was attention
How are
economy.
we going to take the world where we are?
You know what though? I
remember how-
bought into
and
I
fill
bought
that
into
gap
the
with
idea of
trust.
attention, but not attention.
How do we
economy.
address
They're
this new world?
Yeah.
How do we
I
improve the state of the
dreams
world?
about that, where they literally
How do we
were replacing
repair the world?
attention
What
as
actions will we
payment
take
in
as
lieu of
trailblazers to
actual
do that?
currency.
Each
No,
and
really.
every
That-
one of
yeah.
us.
Yeah, that's
That,
how dumb
do
that
something.
argument got.
We do not all have to do
That
everything.
phrase
So
was
we
the one
must
that
do
got me the
something.
most
And we know,
repost of
as
a
businesses as
quote
well,
of
as
ever
we're all
I've had,
businesses,
because
that
of
business
HubSpot
is the greatest
included in
platform
something.
for change.
I
We
forget
prove
what.
that every single
I just
day, don't we?
this I can
As trailblazers,
as
we
long
do.
as he doesn't say
We do.
we'll spend trust
We prove that
on
every
items.
single day.
I will buy
So we
completely
want to have a
into this.
playbook.
I'll give you
for
10
this
trusts
new
if you
trusted
give me.
enterprise.
No.
That's right.
We
A
want to have
Coke
playbook
Zero.
for this new trusted enterprise.
Coke Zero. How much
It's
is
gotta
that?
start
1.5
with trust.
trusts.
It has to.
On
And
sale
something
for
else that's going to start with
1.8
is
times.
Relationship.
Dreamforce and every Dreamforce that I've been in, customer success, making things customer first. That is also going to happen here, and you're going to see that. So
Whatever you want, we
Zero.
trust you.
And you know, you
Zero.
heard the story of Metallica, and it's true. You know Lars was at Dreamforce the last several years. You talked to him. You know that Lars has rebuilt his company on Customer
think anyone's
360.
actually talked to
you know
him,
that
but
Lars
yes,
is
we
a
know he's
small
at
business
Dreamforce.
like many small businesses, and he surged through the pandemic because of what he did with us. It's an
He's in the
amazing
crowd.
story. And there's so many other amazing stories like that. But there's other amazing stories as well. So we're going to talk about how do we create more trust. We're going to talk about how do we create more customer first.
Look at that,
Because
in the
that is
crowd.
definitely one of the paths to get
Yeah.
through this. We're going to talk about something that's totally
better
new.
when
You know,
he's doing
I
the
used
walk-
to have a
the
tower.
walk and
I don't know
Yes.
if you know this.
absolutely.
Some
Tower.
people to
It's around
interact
here
with,
somewhere.
engage with.
This
Right over
is
there. Had a
what he's
tower,
doing today.
And I had a tower in a lot of places.
Made up for the last 2 or 3 years where
Okay.
they weren't quite as
But
strong.
now I just don't have
This
a physical
year,
headquarters because I'm not in my
killing it
physical
at
headquarters
every
that much. I
level.
don't know about you.
Easily.
Like about
Every
50%
level.
of the time
This,
that I used to be.
this is a Marc
Now I
Benioff
have
360 right
digital
here.
headquarters.
So
And my digital
And
headquarters
it's also
is more
the single
important
most
than my
important
physical
keynote we're going to
headquarters.
hear because
And I can
other
bring
companies
everyone
need to
in,
take
and
note
I
of
can
it too.
empower them,
Yeah.
and I can
I think
practice
because
inclusive
it's
capitalism.
Yeah.
I think
I can
because
say
he's not
everyone could be in my
in a
digital
big
headquarters.
auditorium with
And I
20,000
can make
people, this
them
feels
everything.
better. Like
Make a very
he's connected
large
more.
space for everybody.
Well, you know, if I was
And
picking
there's one
an
other thing.
acronym,
Have you
or
all
not an
noticed
acronym, a word for the
that
day,
as
it would be
you
ground.
plan
Well,
to get
I
here
guess
to
it's 2 words.
Dreamforce,
Ground
these
level.
testing kits started
Everything's
arriving
ground
in the mail.
level.
Wasn't that
Everything the way
interesting?
presenting,
And then you started
trying.
sending us back
He's genuinely.
Q-tips.
I think he, unlike past,
Thank you for all your
times,
Q-tips.
genuinely trying to bring in
And you got
the
here and you got more
trailblazers as
Q-tips.
people to affect
And all
change.
of that was recorded
And the
into our
community,
Q-tip
the
management
level of
system,
involvement with the community,
which we call the Health
you know,
Cloud,
the whole thing. They're
because we all want
basically
to make sure that
starting
we're
to adjust to a
healthy
world
and that
that's,
this is a safe
you know,
environment, right? Because
okay,
coming
my theme is
together
up here.
means
This
coming
is
together
red flag
safely.
and my
We
forward-looking
have to get
statement.
together safely.
So
we can have
this is
conferences
basically
and we can have
transition of
events.
buying and
But everyone
decision-making
look on
power
your
to the
around your
Gen
neck.
Z
You see
and
that
to
certificate, you see that
millennials.
QR code, you know
He's
what it's
addressing
connected
those
to. It's
generations
connected to your
as they move into power,
All
right?
right.
Because
Our Health Cloud. We're
this
going to
is
talk about
exactly
that.
the kind of
And
company
sustainability, let me
that
tell
you're going to
you.
want to look for.
Europeans are doing something
and what
amazing
other
called the
companies'
EU Green Deal.
responsibility is. You know,
And the
goes to his
EU
heart.
Green Deal says you want
Right?
to do business
Business
with
is the
Europe.
greatest force
You
for
want to
change.
trade with Europe.
I'm taking the word
Well,
greatest out because I
you better
don't
be
really want
ready
to
if you're
attribute.
bringing them
I hate when
carbon.
people make that
Pay
kind
up.
of blanket statement. But
So
business is
there's
a
going to be a carbon tax
great
in Europe, and
force
we need
for
one here in
change.
the United States too.
Yeah,
We need the same thing.
Look at Jeff's comment.
They're definitely
It's a great
leaders
one, Jeff.
in Europe with this EU
It's
Green Deal.
always a
This EU Green Deal
I
means
know.
that for all of us,
But to be
have
fair, that
opportunity
was
to
a
work.
different kind of event.
Exactly
It wasn't
on,
meant
are we
to
net
be a
zero, are we not
Dreamforce
net zero?
equivalent. It's
How
not
much
open
carbon
world.
are we emitting?
but it's hard to not
Now,
think of.
as we look at
Of
this
course.
playbook for the trusted
Yeah.
It's hard
enterprise
to
we're
not
going to talk
contrast
about,
when we think about
Oh,
we
right.
have a product
Yeah,
at
exactly.
digital
all from Mark.
headquarters and
No.
health and
Well,
safety
again,
and
this is what
sustainability.
visionaries do.
Also,
Yesterday was a product
we're going to
announcement.
remember our core values.
Right.
We've been working on these core values for 20 years: trust and customer success, innovation,
Well,
and equality.
part of these conversations,
That
you know,
they
these
persist.
events and these keynotes
Yes,
really
we
speak to how well are these
continue to
visionaries
focus
listening
on
to what's going
this
on, right? Are they
powerful
reading the
moment.
terrain really
How do
well
we
and
seed
understanding and
amplify
being
our
able to
core
reflect
values?
on
And
those,
also look for gaps where they're not happening.
challenges or opportunities
Maybe
that
not
are in front of
everybody
them?
knows
And
this. Maybe not everybody
maybe there's something to be
understands
said if you're not
this. Maybe not everybody
even just
will be
acknowledging
in touch
that that
with
is
what it
something that
means
is
with Salesforce and
going on in the world, or
Trailblazer.
what's on people's
These are
minds
our
in the
core
first place.
values.
No, I mean, you're right, Anand.
I was just
the only
speaking
thing
over
I'm
here
always
with an
a little bit
executive from Crocs right down here.
The only thing I'm always
And they were
a little
telling me
concerned with
about
you all, well,
the
and
incredible
me
quarter they
among
have. Did you see this
everybody
quarter?
here.
It was a
They have a
blowout.
tendency
for
to,
Crocs.
like,
It was awesome.
listen for
And I also was talking to this
listen for certain
amazing
things we want to
company
hear,
called
and if we
Miller
don't
Knoll. They
hear
used to be
them, then
called
the other
Herman Miller,
person's
and they had a
completely
great
wrong.
quarter.
Right?
And then
I don't
Keynote,
go
I
there
was
with this
reading, had
anymore. I
an
used to do that all the
84% quarter.
time.
You know, they
But if you
all
don't say what
were
I
some of
want
our
to hear,
very first
then you
customer
screwed up.
360
Not
evolution.
necessarily.
They
Right?
were
It's just-
customer
I
first
just didn't hear what I
companies.
wanted to hear.
They went customer first.
And
they want
Can we
direct,
also just mention
trusted
stagecraft plays
relationships
a
with
interesting role in this, because look at what we're looking with
trusted
him.
relationships
Out
with
in the
their
open with people versus
And we can see that
somebody
customers
sitting in
who
a
are
room.
doing
I mean,
this
it's
are
hard to
surging. It's powerful to see it happen.
compete with.
Or sitting in a
Another
very
amazing thing
digitally
happens is we're all
engineered
together, we bought
environment
a company called
versus a
Slack.
park.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing company. And we were using the product for years, and we love the product. We love the management team. We love everything about it. And then
I
all
mean,
of a sudden,
this
we
is why
realized,
Salesforce keeps
wow, it's a pandemic. All of our buildings
winning
are
most
closed.
of the
Good
time,
thing
right?
we have a
Because
digital
they're
headquarters.
always
Because
they're
we
always,
needed
well, not
digital
always.
headquarters. If Parker and
They've
I were
had their
starting
periods where they
Salesforce
didn't,
today,
but
would we do it
right
up
now
at
they're back
1449
to
Montgomery Street, a few blocks away from here?
addressing the immediate future
Maybe.
as well as the current,
Or would we
as
have
well
just
as the
stayed in our
present.
homes
And
and set
they're
up
really
at
good
digital
at doing
headquarters
that. I mean,
instead?
unlike any
So
other
digital
company I've ever seen of
headquarters
their size,
becomes an
that
essential
the
building
vision
block
becomes
to building
practical,
a
and
trusted
the
enterprise in
people
today's
in
world.
that audience can say,
So
not
that
just,
is
oh, wow,
it.
that's
You
great
can start
science
to see
fiction
we
you're
need a
saying.
physical headquarters, we need
They're
a
going to
digital
say,
headquarters.
you know what?
We're
I
going
can
to still
see
be
that.
working in our
I can
homes.
see myself
We're going to have
part of
events
that.
like this. We can get together
Salesforce,
safely.
again,
There's no
externalizes
question.
their culture
We're even
unlike any
building a
other company
new
I've ever seen.
Salesforce ranch.
Nobody does it like them.
Where we're all
Nobody.
going to go and go do training
And
and
this is
a huge
proof
facility.
positive
It's going to be
of that and
amazing.
alignment with the world is it's. See,
It's
the other
going to be
thing he does,
amazing.
which
This
I find
Salesforce
fascinating,
ranch,
he
but
doesn't
all
just
of this
align
is able
with
to
the
happen
market.
because
He
of what
aligns
we're
with
wearing
the
around our
world.
neck, which is
Right,
basically
as it's
says,
evolving,
we sent
well
on the
beyond
two
the
skin
market.
dips. We
He's aligning
tested
with a
negatively.
much bigger part of the world that
Actually,
the
we've
market
done
is just an
10,000
element
tests in the last 7
right?
days.
And that is no one
10,000
does
tests.
that. Business people
Through the
tend to
10,000 tests, we
restrict
did
themselves
find
to
10
business
people who were not
concerns
able
when
to
they, at
attend.
least on these public forums.
So that's just
He
about
doesn't do
the
it that
ability
way,
to
and
come together
then that way he
safely.
gets business to
And
become a
information
transformative
technology
thing
is a
as
part of
opposed
doing that.
to
You can choose
an
if you're going to
institutional
say,
way
well, it's
of
all vaccinated, or if it's
basically
all tested,
selling
or if it's all
and
this,
selling
or if
and
it's
buying
all that.
stuff.
You know,
Right?
that kind of
He takes
flexibility, I
it
think,
well
is
beyond
important.
that. He takes it to its
But
institutional maximum.
we know
really.
that having
Yeah, he
that
takes the
sophisticated
bold
technology
step.
capability,
Yeah.
He
we
takes
have
the bold
built
step. Like he
That's how we
won't
achieved
wait
our
for
contact
to
rate.
see
That's
if other
how we
businesses are
achieved
going to
our
lean into that
vaccine
trend
mandate.
or
That's how
that
we got
issue
everyone
or
into
whatever.
the
He
States
just
today with
this is
Health
how
Cloud
we
2.0.
feel. This is how I
That is
feel,
what
and
happened when you
we're
scanned
going to
your
make the
badge
move.
to work
And
with Health
Well,
Cloud 2.0.
that's the key.
And
He's
all
not
of the
doing
different
something that
connected sectors
feels
and experiences and
unauthentic. He's
stakeholders
doing what
that are
he
able to take
appears to
that
be
digital
right in
certificate
line
that
with
you
what
have
he's
around your
thinking
neck
and
connect
what
it
his
back to our
principles
system.
are.
You know, I was
That
with
makes
one of
it
our customers
really
last week,
interesting
Mike
and
Rapino.
unique.
they always say, like, the best way to beat your competition is, take the step they aren't able to take. And
events and programs and concerts.
he's able to intersect the natural business and world, as you said, Paul,
we all know has been managed
in
in
making bold
Salesforce.
steps on both fronts.
And I said,
I
maybe
love
what you need to
that.
do
That's
is just
what I
put
love
Health
about the
Cloud
company.
2.0 on the front of it, and you can start to have your concerts again. Because I
Yep,
think we
Ian, that's
have-
exactly it.
Yeah, amen, Ian.
Now, one
Community
thing
followers.
that I've noticed
and
as the
and
pandemic
leaders
has kind of been
too.
underway,
To the credit
we
of
have
them,
had a lot
they
of
encourage
people
leadership.
Followers.
say,
I don't like
I'm going to make a
that
difference.
term.
And one of the incredible people and incredible organizations that have done that, especially
Exactly
in regards
right.
to health, we want to talk about
That's right.
now, is the New York City Department of Information Technology and Transformation. And I put together a little film for us to all watch about New York City.
Oh, I know.
New York City.
This is
At the beginning of the
he's gonna be
pandemic,
judged-
New York
judged
City
mightily on
was
this film.
the epicenter. We had significant pain and suffering. Vaccinations are joyful for us because it is the one thing that we're looking at that will get us out of this.
Bye, Joe.
New
Joe.
York City.
Bye, Joe.
Patriots still
or
don't like the
best of
Patriots.
the best, and I feel like I needed to be part of that. I love cooking food because it connects me to people.
Catch you later.
Yeah, bye, Jesus.
Bye,
Yeah,
Jesus.
Hi, Jesus. My parents are both teachers. One of my siblings is a teacher.
Maylin is on something in her comment. I mean, she says that it's bleeding into the woodwork. There was a time when technology was something in addition to how we live. Now technology is how we live, right? So
whatsoever.
I appreciate inspiring that comment.
My livelihood. Was
Hey,
kind of
David.
like
Good to see you.
Welcome to Ambia.
basically changed
David,
everything.
really good point.
You build your
Yeah, that V2 mom.
business.
How long have they been
and
doing that? Like
start
5, 6
all
years
over
or longer?
again.
Maybe longer than that.
It's
Bye,
a
Ahmed.
lot to navigate something.
When I heard that the school was going to be closed, I was afraid. Many of my students
See ya, Martin.
suffer from the trauma.
You don't want to be late for that.
The more I realized that I need them too. Bye.
Thank you all for joining.
Oops, I'm supposed to leave.
Less than 3 weeks. I think the thing that will
I forgot.
stick out the most is watching people use this platform to
Okay,
get
so
us
far
out of
this is a
this
good
pandemic
video about New York.
one
So
shot at a time.
believe me,
I
this
finally
is
got
my
an
acid
appointment,
test.
NYC Vax
Wait until the
I
Mets start
remember
showing up.
leading up to
If that happens, then I'm leaving the broadcast. Just letting you know.
We'll have a proverbial mic drop happen,
the whole
right?
year
Bye, my friend.
has done
See ya.
and what the world has changed too.
I felt really excited and I just felt really good. And I haven't felt really good in a really long time.
New York was live again.
You know,
And watching
you
this
think about
place
this video
come
in
back
New
to
York
life.
and
The
think
thing
about what we just
that I
went through the
most
20th year
looking
anniversary
forward
of
is to
9/11.
be
These
sitting
guys
at
don't
a
miss
table
anything.
and sharing
Yeah.
a good meal.
You know that has to be a
hugging
part
my
of
mom,
this.
who
There's
I
connection
haven't
with that.
seen in over a year and a half. That's where I most excited about.
Bye,
Vaccine
Ming.
card. Bye, Maylin.
Bye, Maylin.
Great story, by the way. It's a great story on one of the
So
most
what grade
important
did you give the
cities in the
video,
whole
Paul?
world, and I was just
Bye,
there.
John.
And it is. It's all open, and it's amazing what's happening. Broadway
You're
is
rating a
coming
liquor
back.
store.
And you know what? We have Jessica
10
here.
years
So
old.
Jessica,
Okay.
would
Yeah,
you
that
come
sounds
up
about
here?
right.
Welcome,
Oh, yeah, Paul, did you want to give your grade?
Jessica. Number one.
I give it a
congratulations.
solid
Thank you.
B plus.
It's amazing what you have
Not an
accomplished.
A. It was
What would
missing
make
too
it an
much
A?
of the.
Fell
You're
on your
missing,
shoulders.
missing too much of the. They said the city's come alive again, and then showed a pretty
global
dead
pandemic.
scene of the city. So,
And number
all
one
right,
was
Wow,
right. So
that's quite a hit on the grade for that.
It was alive,
Well,
but they were asleep at the time. so-
you don't mess with New York and me never.
Acquiring the PPE
Right,
was a major
anything-
issue for the city. Setting up all of that infrastructure.
I was in New York about a
And
month and a
then
half
we
ago with
went
my
into
brother,
vaccine
and
management
it
as
is
well. Tell us
genuinely
your
alive
story.
again.
Jessica, tell
So,
us.
See you later,
Mark,
John.
One of the things that I love most about working in city government is it's the part of government that's closest to people.
Another
So with that
government-oriented
comes enormous
case.
responsibility to deliver services.
No, this is the same one.
But
This
when
is
we
New York.
work with a platform like Salesforce, that enormous responsibility
Oh,
becomes
no.
an
I mean from
enormous-
last year. Last year they had
Oh,
New
yeah.
Hampshire.
So in
This
the case
year,
of vaccines,
now we have New
New
York.
York City, like San Francisco,
last year
recently
wasn't it
went
Delaware?
over
It was Rhode
80%
Island.
of adults
Oh, Rhode
vaccinated.
Island.
Rhode
Sorry,
Island,
yes,
Rhode
you're
Island,
right.
Rhode Island,
That's right,
Rhode
Rhode
Island.
Island.
It was
Okay.
one of
That,
those little states.
over
They had a
11
really
million
good relationship with
shots
the governor.
in
Yeah.
arms.
That was
right.
a
And
great
so
piece.
much
And
of
then they
that
followed it up
was
with
made
Bentley.
possible because of our
Mhm.
partnership.
I know
with
who they're bringing in
Salesforce
this
all
year,
along the way.
by the way.
There was
I won't
nothing
say
that anyone
exactly
threw
what
at us
Don't tell
that
us.
we couldn't say
I can't,
yes to
but I
from a
will.
tech perspective because of this
You will hear my
platform.
result.
So when the mayor saw
Yeah, let's just say it's
vaccination rates
funny.
begin to slow a few months ago, he
Oh,
said,
man.
let's give $100 incentives. Anyone who gets a jab in New York City, their first jab,
We
they get
almost went-
$100.
Yeah.
And I turned to the crew at Salesforce, and they're like, yeah.
Jeff's
That's
right
very-
about that.
that's a very New York
Jeff is
thing.
Jeff's completely right
and
about that.
literally everything that I've asked, can
Say the
we?
Yankees and then
The answer has always been yes. So I just want
Say
to
the
thank
word. I would
The
you
score immediately
and
goes up.
Parker
A
and
plus.
Srini and all of Salesforce and all of the
So what do they call
Trailblazers.
getting
Thank you so
getting
much for
vaccinated?
helping
I
us
mean, New
through.
Yorkers
New
apparently
York
call them
is
jabs.
such a better
Like,
place
what do
than
you
it
all
was a year
like
and a
from
half ago.
people in comments? What are they calling
thank
it?
you.
Is there a nickname for
Thank you,
the
Jessica.
vaccination?
And thank you, Parker is here.
You're
Parker,
the
would you
same
stand
that they
up
call
and take
them
a hand? Because you know what? You're such a key
Okay.
part of that.
Or vaccination. Get your vaccination. We had none of those.
Parker
Yeah,
is
she
a key
just
part
kept
of
saying,
it. I know
yeah,
Parker
first
was
jab, you
on
get
the phone
this, and
a
then
lot.
first
He
second
talked
jab.
about-
And I was like,
Because this was
that's
actually
so
quite
New York.
People using the
Maybe even
fully
Boston.
well, if
you
you're
needed to
California,
have
of course, it's
very,
fully
very
vaxxed.
quickly.
Vaxxed.
I remember it was like
VAXXED.
Very
days.
relaxed and
Yeah,
vaxxed.
the initial system we built in 2 weeks. And then, with the CDC and the FDA and changing guidance and people want to get vaccinated, they don't want to get vaccinated. Things changed so much, but the platform was able to keep up. And so there was never a time where I had to look at the
2-week window to
hook
get the
of
first thing up.
mayor and say,
That's
no,
pretty
I'm sorry, we
impressive.
can't deliver that. And that's really because of the fundamental choice that we made the very beginning to work with Salesforce. So thank you so much. New York
Thank you for your leadership, and thank you. You are a trailblazer, and I know our community is
Not
grateful for
Boston.
everything you do.
Thanks for that correction.
Please thank Jessica Tisch. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Bob.
You're probably right, Bob.
Jessica's
Not probably,
first
you are right.
Dreamforce. Very exciting. We need to get her a hoodie for sure. Probably a golden hoodie. Amazing accomplishments from Jessica and her team, and also thank you to your mayor as well for his incredible leadership. So we've seen that there is a playbook for this trusted enterprise. And you're going to learn about that over the next 3 days. There's no question. We have to be focused on trust today more than ever before. We're in a crisis of trust. We're going to get through this by seeding trust. And we are the trust blazers.
That's right.
We are the ones who are we're the ones who are going to have to create the trust. Number two, we're going to have to build customer first systems because we need to have direct trusted relationships with our customers. Number three, we're going to have to build digital headquarters because our physical headquarters are just not fully open yet. And in some cases, even when they are, people like working at home or they want to work somewhere other than the office. So let's let that happen. And number four, let's get together and let's get together safely. Let's do it safely. And five, let's also remember that we have this carbon crisis in the world. I'm happy to tell you that as of today, Salesforce is not only net zero, but also fully renewable. And we are an example as we enter the Fortune 100 next year of a company that is net zero and renewable. And our sustainability team, we want to be a model. We want to show you how you can take your company to be fully net zero and renewable. The Race to Zero is the United Nations program to help every company go net zero. And on Saturday, September 25th,
I kept getting mixed kind of research or insights about if you have a team, like you have a company of employees and many of them are remote,
all over the world.
Perhaps your headquarters and your buildings are all net zero or renewable, but what about people who are working remotely? Are there any offsets or anything that they would count toward that as
well? Many of our
well?
corporate friends have now made the commitment that we have made, and we are help guiding companies like MasterCard and Zurich and Unilever and Verizon.
Please do, yeah. I would love to hear or know.
Many others to go
you have to look at the whole picture, right? So I'm not commuting.
And to plant trees. Already in the United States, the U.S. chapter of 1T.org.
Well, you're using energy at home, right? I mean, I used to be in the energy space, and one of the things we'd always talk about is, what the energy demands would be in 30 years.
50 billion trees, that's 5%.
And obviously renewable and renewable energy, clean energy, and certainly reducing carbon footprint were significant conversations. But how do you truly measure them? I mean, we would talk about, there would be conversations about people are buying Priuses, but you're still plugging them into your, wall. But guess what? Those are being coal driven. So that's why they changed their nomenclature to say they're zero tailpipe emissions. But are you, is it really changing the way that you think about what your footprint looks like? Is something? Are we really measuring the right things?
We have to
in this new environment?
The average person looks at their power bill and they don't know how much of it is coming from renewable versus other sources.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to come and play with this, of course.
That they are emitting. So right out of our sustainability cloud,
I was just curious if that was something.
That say, here is where you are and here is where you're going to go. Because we want to get aligned with those UN sustainability goals. And 1T.org and our new sustainability cloud 2.0. And Brad is coming soon and he's going to do a great job explaining that and showing that to you. But this is our playbook for the trusted enterprise. This is where we think we are right now. And where we want to go together with you as our trailblazers. Back to trust, back to customer first, back to digital headquarters, back to health and safety, back to sustainability, and into the future together as one. So with that, I would like to introduce to you our Chief Operating Officer. Please welcome to the stage of Dreamforce 2021, Brett Taylor.
Nice.
I was trying to sneak up on you like you did to me last year. How'd I do? I hope to see some animated GIFs that later for all of you. You know what to do. This is amazing to be here in person with 1,000 trailblazers. I see so many familiar faces and MVPs. This really does feel like a family reunion. I also just want to say hi to everyone online, millions of people watching right now. Dreamforce is all about optimism. It's all about looking forward. It's all about what all of us as trailblazers can do to have a positive impact on the world. Marc talked a lot about what this trusted enterprise vision is. The next half of this keynote is going to be how. How can you all have the tools and the technologies you need to go back to your organization
Agreed.
and
I
build
like
a
that, Jeff.
trusted enterprise and impact those crises that Marc talked about. And we're going to do this through 3 great customer stories of Mercedes-Benz, of IBM, and Engie.
There's the one.
3 playbooks or templates that you can use to inspire you.
Scaled down. They've apparently
Not Bentley.
realized the gravity.
It's not Bentley.
They've realized the gravity of their pandemic, and they've
This is
scaled
a
their customers
storied
down from
automobile brand.
Bentley
Well,
to Mercedes.
Being a trusted enterprise.
Mercedes is home to
Amazing
one of the best
vision
football
of
teams, in the
sustainability for
world.
this new
So
fleet of electric vehicles.
What, New Orleans?
Mercedes-Benz also transforming the customer-first company.
I'll let you piece. Oh, Brent, you know Mercedes-Benz.
Along on that journey.
I know, but they also have
And
the
what
Super
And they have one of the best football teams in the world, right? That football.
Mercedes-Benz is doing this with
Hey.
Customer 360.
Real football.
Customer 360 is Mercedes-Benz single source of truth for their customers, for their dealers, and for their employees. Connects all aspects of the customer
I'm
experience.
surprised you didn't say single
Sales,
source of trust.
Customer service,
Yeah.
marketing, e-commerce,
I was
all of their
thinking the same
custom
thing.
applications.
I'm guessing this is
You know what? I just have such a
Here,
immediate
everything.
and visceral reaction to anyone
We're
that
in
says
all digital,
unique or
work
single
anywhere
or
we're
any of that.
And we're not
I
going
just
back.
don't think things are that
So the
uncomplicated.
amazing
I'm
and
sorry.
cares of Salesforce has
Right?
spent the past
That
year
I
reimagining
get
this
Salesforce
platform
and
for
I will
solving
have
problems.
a single source of truth. I will not need anything else to make a determination
I know a lot of you
but
in
the
sales
data
right now,
that
you're not
that
backing up
single
those
source
frequent
of
flyer
truth
miles,
provides me
right?
in the
You're
way
not
it
living in
provides it
airport
to me.
lounges.
And
We've
I just don't
reimagined
think it works
Sales
that
Cloud
way.
to power the next generation digital selling team. So whether you're selling in a conference room or you're selling over Slack Connect or selling over Zoom, Sales Cloud is your engine for growth in this amazing new digital economy. Or our Service Cloud. We know that contact centers aren't buildings anymore. Contact centers just live in the cloud. We have a new all digital contact center. It connects your field service to your contact center, to your ticketing, to your bots. It's truly the most complete customer service platform, powering customer experiences for the brands that we all love. And marketing. How many marketers are in the room today?
Room.
3? With 3 marketers? I have a hard time believing that.
You're the only one in the room, actually. If you think about it,
Yeah, there's no room. He's the only one
Literally
in
the only
his
one
room.
in our room.
It's all about your first party customer
Get a
data.
room.
And it's all about privacy and trust.
Oh yeah, Alan.
That's Adobe and
We've
Microsoft.
reimagined our marketing cloud.
Yeah,
with
exactly,
data at the
Alan.
center.
Winning.
That's why we
Exactly.
built the Salesforce Customer Data Platform, our CDP. This is my favorite part of the demo coming up. This enables any company of any scale, whether you're B2B or B2C, to manage your first-party data, to segment it, to activate it with privacy and trust built in at the foundation. And of course, there's our Commerce Cloud. Because last year, e-commerce was just commerce.
CDP
I love
conversation.
That Sonos story Marc was
We'll
talking
come back to
about.
that.
Because Sonos, like so many of the customers I talked to, went direct to consumer last year. This has been a complete transformation this year. In the demo you're going to see upcoming, you're going to see how we built commerce directly into the Customer 360 platform. You can add commerce to any experience with clicks, not code. It's totally mind-blowing. And of course, yeah, give it up, Leah. Thank you. Now look, the fuel of every digital interaction is data. And we've integrated Tableau into this Customer 360 platform and our CDP natively. This means that you can empower everyone at your company to see and understand the data in your Customer 360 with the trust and security you expect from Salesforce built in automatically. And last but not least, there's Mulesoft. Mulesoft is a platform that you can use to integrate every system at your company. Those back office systems, those legacy systems you like to pretend don't exist, but they're not going anywhere.
I'm sorry, I'm
Your
laughing. I mean, I'm
supply
smiling
chain, your
just
ERP.
because
And once you've connected all of that with Mulesoft, it enables
enterprise
you to
software integrations, you can
move at
integrate
the pace
anything.
of your customer expectations.
Sounds so
The
easy.
thing the past 18 months have taught us is those expectations are changing more rapidly.
Yeah,
than
remember
ever
the web
before.
services days? How
Oh,
easy
yeah.
everything was 20
Oh
years
my gosh,
ago?
Rebecca, that, I remember that.
At the top,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got Slack. This is your digital HQ. This is your single system of engagement that connects not just your employees, it connects your customers, it connects your partners, your friendly neighborhood bots, all your applications,
Your friendly
all
neighborhood
in one
bots.
single platform, no matter where you're working, whether you're in the Salesforce tower or working from your kitchen table. Slack integrates every application in the customer 360. Your single source of truth for your customers and your partners.
I think I would have
And
had
we spent
Mark
the past 5
end
years
where he
building
ended.
Einstein natively into that
Go
platform.
to some sort of break,
Einstein
come
is
back
doing
with a completely different
100 billion
part of
predictions
the conference
every single day.
product, because he basically
This
goes
means that every interaction
elevated,
is personalized.
visionary,
It means
intense,
you're a customer service
dramatic,
agent. You don't need to search for that answer.
realizable
Einstein's giving it to you so you
but
can get your
important
customer on the road,
speech to
make
another
her
product discussion.
And all
Now,
of this
I was
is
thinking the
built on
exact same thing. I
Hyperforce.
thought this
is
was
our
he was going to
next-generation
end,
public
and then
cloud
because they got channels,
spent
they
the
got
past
all
year
sorts of
making
stuff
this
that's
even
coming
better.
after this.
Right.
I really thought
Tuning
he
in
had ended on
You can have
a
one
kind of a high note
customer
if that had
experience,
ended the
but you
keynote.
can meet the needs of your customers
No, it's
locally.
just ending with another
That means
couple
data
of demos. I mean,
residency.
they may be good demos,
It
and
means
they're certainly
compliance.
interesting
It
products,
means
but
security.
it's just
At
not.
this Dreamforce, we're announcing the EU operations
Takes a
zone.
little bit of the
This
air out of
means
the
for
room.
our EU customers,
Well,
not
you know
only will your
what?
customer data
They
be
have to
resident
have
in EU,
something with
but
their
everyone operating on that
key
data as well.
sponsors on the main
Hyperforce is
stage,
the
right? And
platform that enables
I have
CEOs
yet
to
There's nothing wrong with his speech per se. In
No.
isolation,
How do we
fine.
bring this up? How do we wrap this up and bring it up at the end? Is the question.
Yeah, I think that's what they're
I
trying
hope
to
they can recover.
Well, maybe they're thinking more symbolic of, Benioff to Brad, right? And this is like the eventual transition as it's being, kind of rumored as a, future, future promotion of Brad to CEO at some point.
But then you got to bring Brett. You got to wrap Brett up on an up note. If you're going to do that.
That's true. Maybe this is the first stage. You're absolutely right. How do you give him a leg up on that?
Let's create the
I
kind of
don't
attitude.
I don't know
of
that
business based upon
This to me is
optimism,
just a different
innovation,
discussion.
and the belief
really,
that technology will be the solution.
It is absolutely a completely different discussion.
And there's nothing
It's
wrong with
important.
having another discussion, just not the way they basically. Mark needs to have closed
for Mercedes, this whole electrification,
and left
and also
it where it
definitely
was,
feel that in the
basically,
marketing
because
department.
he had engaged everybody around really important ideas, and now he's saying, okay, yeah, well,
in the Mercedes
it felt like it was building up to an end of the keynote, and now
what could have been great. What could have been great was bringing Brett in to talk about the digital HQ, and digital workforce, and sort of what that
something like that would have been fine. Yeah.
You have to develop the trust of the customer.
but it felt like there was a
That's always the
natural
first
end to
step.
that with what Mark had
the
left
Mercedes
off.
And this
Benz
just
customer
literally
group.
just deflates the conversation.
Because if you've heard Brett talk about when he talks about kind of the digital workplace and digital teams, he has a great vision. He has a great story there. That would have been a great way to kind of elevate Brett.
Developing experience maps, looking at the different touch points to bring all these
Amazing.
various interactions together to the single source of truth, so that between the online world and the offline world,
Mark was
we can
on
be
his A
successful
game.
from anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. A plus game.
Actually, Leah as a lead-in and Mark as the main
technology that we're working.
That's a powerful combination when
Yeah, it is.
you give them the structure or the framework to work in.
At the center.
That's a good one too.
It's time to change the world again.
I mean, the thing is, it's funny now. To show you how much the world's changed is we have to
The
talk about
Mercedes-Benz story. It's my
staging and
pleasure to introduce
broadcasting
our
of these
president
things,
and
even
chief
though we're
marketing officer,
theoretically
Sarah
industry
Franklin.
analysts, right? So we're basically operating like we're TV producers, right? So,
well, I am
Thank
one.
you, Brad,
so,
and hello, Dreamforce. Brad, you have a marketer in the house right here on
No laugh.
stage.
Really?
It is so incredible to see how
You're right,
Mercedes-Benz
Ian.
is
You're
creating
right.
trusted customers for life and how they're bringing their visions together with Salesforce. They're going through incredible transformations.
gonna
You
go
heard
long.
how they're trying to create these direct, trusted relationships with their customers and how
I
they're
guess we'll
also
run
driving
over.
towards that dream, that goal of a sustainable
Yeah.
future. And they're doing
Are
this
we not
in a way that's
surprised? I
bringing
mean-
all of their dealers
Right.
together with them, along on the
Happened
journey.
before.
Mercedes has over 10,000
Brent, I got the quarters ready just in
dealers
case
around
we
the
need
world.
to add some
And they
time
want
to our
bring them along with them.
stream.
And they're achieving their goals by 2039 by carbon
make sure
neutrality.
they don't have a W on them.
And what's so incredible is that Mercedes is doing this with
This
their
is
marketing being
this is really a
omnichannel,
shame because
meeting their
you can feel
customers
a,
where they
a
are.
shift in
And
momentum was
Mercedes needs to
lost.
do this not in a year, not in a few years from now. They need to do this in a matter of months. And they've done this together with our Salesforce professional services. And so what I want to do right now is something very special here at Dreamforce. We want to transport you into the world of the Mercedes customers. So are you
Everyone
ready?
gets a
You wanna
car.
go with me? Okay.
And you
let's
get a
go
car,
ahead
and
and
you-
fast
no, sorry.
forward into the world of a Mercedes-Benz customer right now. How does a company build trusted relationships? One interaction at a time. Mercedes-Benz is wowing its customers with personalized experiences as they launch the all-electric EQS sedan. It starts in marketing. Here, a team is collaborating on the EQS campaign. They want to reach the right audiences with the right experiences wherever they are. That's where Salesforce customer data platform.
Now that I know you're good at that, we'll be
We're back at
Salesforce
drinking
BP
game.
is a single source of truth.
We'll be
for
bringing that
Mercedes.
game to the next
It
time we're
brings
in
together
person.
all of their
Game of
customer
this-
data
of the
for a
watch
single
party.
view of every customer.
By the way,
across
all
marketing,
the
sales,
folks that we
service,
are going to
commerce,
have on
every
after
touch
this,
point.
by now
This
you probably know
includes
we're
data
running a
from
little late.
external sources too, thanks
So,
to Mulesoft.
you know, just
This centralized
Stay
view
take
of
that
all
into
customers
If you're able to,
allows
bear with
Mercedes-Benz
us.
to build relevant
Yes,
audiences
please.
and deliver personalized experiences.
And
through
Brent,
each
watch the
campaign,
rain.
all with customer consent, of course.
watch the rain.
Yeah,
Salesforce
your
CPP
notification
is
came down and said
compliant
heavy
with
rain
local
near
and global
Stockbridge.
privacy policies. That's how you build trust with every customer. With just a couple clicks,
That's a
you
daily
can
occurrence
build
now.
audiences across
It doesn't really
all
look bad right now.
channels.
No,
So
it's
what does
gone
this
now.
personalized experience look like for customers? Here's Mia. She comes from a long line of Mercedes-Benz drivers, and she's on a mission to reduce her carbon footprint. Mercedes-Benz can reach Mia with ads on the channel of her choice. Right in Instagram, Mia signs up for a test drive. The EQS is a blast to drive, and Mia loves it. But when the test drive's over, she gets caught up with the other things in life. Hey, she's a busy woman. And Mercedes-Benz puts Mia on a personalized journey, so they stay connected with her until she's ready to reserve her car. Here we're seeing the CDP in action again, tailoring the commerce experience for Mia. Mercedes-Benz recommends EQS builds based on Mia's affinities captured in the CDP. And the messaging and the content align with what she cares about. This content is dynamic and personalized in real time with Interaction Studio.
So anybody in the comments,
let's see what the
I
experience
feel
looks
like
like
this
for
is very similar to a
He
Tesla
has an eye for
experience,
design and is
but I
all
haven't
about
bought a
comfort.
Tesla. So
Mercedes-Benz delivers
if you
exactly
have
what
one
he
or
wants
gone
to
through that
see.
experience lately, I would love to hear if you've
Mia
had a
is done
similar
setting up the
experience
car
or if
and
this
is
sounds
ready to
different
place her order.
in
Her
any way.
experience wouldn't be complete without product recommendations just for her, thanks to Einstein.
Christy's
She
point
adds
is
the
funny,
head-up
actually.
display and checks out
See that
securely.
long line of Mercedes.
Congratulations,
It's like
Mia.
that's a
You're getting that
lineage thing,
EQS
right?
sedan.
Part of your ancestry in ancestry.com.
Now that Mia is becoming an
And
EQS
all the
owner,
names,
she joins a
your name,
community
your
of
grandfather's
fellow
name, and the
drivers and
Mercedes they
enthusiasts to
bought.
get tips and discover
Hey,
products.
don't laugh. My
Wouldn't it
family
be
comes
great
from
if
a
she
long
could
line
also
of Cadillac
purchase those products
owners,
in the
so.
same experience? Let's watch how
come from a
any
long line
developer
of
can turn a
Ford
community
owners,
into a
so.
storefront with the power of the platform.
I come from a long line of didn't care what
API
car we
first
owned
approach
owners.
that makes it easy for developers to spin up a Salesforce org and a connected storefront right from the command line. With just a few commands, we've got our commerce experience built on our hyper-trusted infrastructure, Hyperforce.
Whoa, hyper trusted.
All we have to do is drag a few
Yeah, that one
components
will
onto the
drop.
page
We'll
using experience.
eliminate
Wow.
that word.
First, add
I
a
do
card.
not like that word.
Then add the Einstein product recommendations
Isn't trust
component
enough
to make relevant recommendations
What's
based
trust
on what
hyper-trusted?
the
I trusted
community
to the
is
point I'll
chatting
let you
about.
kill me with unqualified.
The customer community is now an engaging storefront.
Hyper-trusted.
The next time Mia logs
Oh, thank
into
you,
the
Jeff.
community, she gets exactly what she's looking for. Recommendations for local electricians and the EQ Wallbox home charger she'll need them to install. Done and done. And the rest is a breeze with Salesforce Payments' secure one-click checkout. Okay, the big day has finally arrived. Mia's EQS is here. What a beautiful car. Her dream of a sustainable lifestyle is becoming reality as she welcomes a new Mercedes into the family.
I know everything you're going to say about this, Paul. I already know. Just ahead of time, I already know.
No, I mean,
All right, it
as
wouldn't
I
be
said-
Dreamforce without some fun surprises for you all. Here we're on the all-new,
Let us know what you
all-electric
find,
EQS
Alan.
sedan right here at Dreamforce, bringing it to you. And that's how Mercedes-Benz and any company can become a trusted enterprise. Back to you, Brett.
How is that showing you the
I'm
car
so
is the
excited
way
to
that
welcome back Marc
Mercedes-Benz becomes
Benioff
a
to the
trusted
stage to
enterprise.
interview the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, Ola Kalenius. Mark.
Oy.
Great job, Brett. How about a hand for Brett and Sarah? All right.
I don't even. There's nothing to say about it. It's the same.
Can you hear us?
It's
All right.
basically okay. It's not Bentley. Some people
Yes,
actually
I
can't
can.
afford
Great
it
to
during
see
good
you again,
times
Mark,
this time.
to be with your
But
team today.
beyond that, not a whole lot of
Well,
difference.
Ola, it's great to be
Ben,
with
you could
you. Know, we love your
not
company
be
and
so wrong as
we
to
love
say
this
that.
story. We love what you're doing because the Mercedes story is
Don't think
about
so.
working with a huge company in the world,
Are we getting
Mercedes,
to the
but
point where customer
also
stories are too
small and medium
overproduced for
businesses
these
like your
things?
dealers,
You know, I
medium
remember in the old days when you
like
get a
your
customer on
suppliers, and
stage
even
and
individuals
yes,
like
they'd
your
maybe
consumers.
prep, but they would
And
talk.
it's amazing how you're
And you got a
transforming your
sense of what their
company
real experience
with the
was,
new
warts and alls.
EQS and
This feels a
EQE
little
and EQG.
too
Can you
commercially
tell us what is your
polished, maybe.
vision for the future
And
of
I'm not,
Mercedes?
it's not just Salesforce, it's everybody.
I know. I
Well,
like
we
that.
have
He
a
was
very
looked like he was
simple
looking into
mission. It's to
like
build
a
the
window
world's
in a
most
tree or
desirable
something when he was
cars.
talking to that guy.
And it comes
Kind of
back
like
to
that
the
effect.
DNA of
but
this
yeah, other
company.
than-
Our founding fathers,
Other than that,
they
yeah.
broke new
Some of
ground.
this stuff
They
is
invented
well. I mean,
the
you know,
car. So you
they
could
are
say,
broadcast.
I'm
They're-
working
they're
for a
network
startup.
now,
Just
so
happens to be a startup
they're
that is
gonna start doing
135
a lot of
years
these kinds
old.
of things, I think.
What we need to do now.
Well, now
is
I guess we got to figure out if they're a network, what kind of network are they going to be? Is it QVC or are we talking about Netflix, right? So
the original.
you got to be careful to draw that line.
We're doing, looking at,
Well, you're actually kind of
an even more
right. I don't
exciting
think it's
future
either
for
of
our
them.
business.
I think they're
See, that looks
to the
cool.
point.
Well,
Like
Ola, it's
he's
very
doing the mirror
exciting what
on the
you're doing,
wall.
and you know my
That
mom
is-
drives.
Yeah, I do like
Yeah.
that. I agree with you.
S-Class here,
To
and she
Colin,
loves her Mercedes, and she's here
Colin
today at
is the,
Dreamforce
what's his last name
with
again?
us, so I'm
Ferguson?
very excited about
Colin,
that.
no,
Mom,
that's the other guy.
that's right
Colin.
over there. And
No, the guy who runs
she wants
Salesforce
to
Plus is
upgrade.
on our
She
show.
wants to go. I think.
Oh,
what do you
Fleming.
think? To the
Fleming.
EQS?
Fleming,
Oh, yeah, that's
Colin
right.
Fleming.
I want
And
the
Colin,
EQG, I
and
know,
Colin
so
made a point.
Tell us, where
He
are
said
we
their
going with all of
focus
this?
is on how to distribute
Well, we're
content.
rolling
That's
out
their
a whole
focus.
new
And that's the
lineup
power of
fully
Salesforce
electric
Plus.
vehicles.
That's
And
not
of course,
QVC.
the
That
EQS,
QVC
the
if they
S-Class
get too much
always
into
being the
this is
flagship
No, of
in our
course not.
yeah,
Of course
to your,
not.
That
to
is
your
the
point,
true
though, if it's too much
luxury EV experience.
customer selling,
We just showed
then
a couple of weeks
QVC.
ago
But
at the
they're definitely
IAA
not
Auto
a
Show in
Netflix
Munich.
business.
New
And the
EQE,
model is nothing
I
like
think
it.
it's going to be a
either.
smash hit.
I mean,
Got
Colin,
good
Colin explained it
feedback
really
from
well. I mean, the way I took
customers
away
and
from
dealers
that
on that
conversation
product.
was they're building a platform that will enable
The
people to
go
generate and distribute
anywhere
content, and that's really their,
adventurous
like you said,
luxury
it's
is
that
the
focus, and
EQG
And
that
to
can
me,
that can
it
empower a
would-
lot of people.
in a
Oh, I'm
couple
sorry.
of
Go
years
ahead.
from now.
No, my fault.
All right. Well,
I
I
was
know
done.
you're going to need a driver for the prototype
Okay, well,
model
all
here
I
in
was
the
going to say
United
was,
States. So please think
if
of me.
we're actually continuing on the theme that this is
let me
generational
ask you a question.
transference
You're
going
redesigning
on,
all the products. You're
then
redesigning the company. You're
distribution becomes
making
the
Mercedes the
biggest
leader
thing.
in sustainability.
Creation
You're going fully net
is the tool,
zero.
the capabilities are there.
But tell me this,
Consumption,
Ola, how
we
are
know
you
the
going
habits.
customer first?
How we
What-
get it to them is really the biggest issue we have.
will the customer
And
be in the experience
Salesforce
when
with
you're done?
Salesforce Plus
How
and what they're doing with this
connected
network
will you be to your
is
customer in
creating
new
a
ways?
network that's basically built to figure out distribution. And
To be honest,
it's early
Mercedes
stage
has
and it's clearly
traditionally
that,
been
but
a
you know, if that Disney
product-centric
Plus offer
company
is
or a
legitimate, and
technology-centric
to someone's
company.
point on the
And
change,
this is why
they really
teaming
didn't
up
need to
with
do
you
that,
guys at
even though it's a
Salesforce,
nice
and you are
offer. Don't get me
really the
wrong, it's a great
masters
offer.
of
But
customer
thank you,
centricity
Alan.
is so valuable for us. And if we combine
but that,
all of your
they're
expertise
at the early
with
stages
what
of
we
figuring
bring to
out
the table,
distribution, and I
we're
think
going to have
that's
a
really
much
important.
more
And they're the first
comprehensive
company to do it
customer
in
experience.
a seriously,
So we have the best working with the
large,
best in our
at-scale
partnership, and
way.
I'm really
First
looking
one.
forward to what we can do
A lot of people
together
have
to
done
create,
piecemeal
I mean,
aspects of
really
it, but
blow
nobody's
customers
actually
away
built
with a new
it. When I
experience.
actually heard that
We're really
they have
excited to work with
Salesforce
you.
Plus
I know every
Studio, I thought that,
Trailblazer
like
peers
most of the
can
time,
check out that
oh, well, that's
new
a platform
app that you
tool
shipped
set.
to us. It looks
It turned out,
amazing.
no, it's an actual actual studio with like hundreds of thousands of square feet and stages and cameras and lights and the whole thing.
Right. Ola, CEO of Mercedes.
Thank you.
By the way, it is raining now in Stockbridge, Georgia.
Brett, back to you.
Thank God for the notification.
That car looks pretty awesome, by the way. Right over there, for those of you looking to pass by it on your way
It
out.
looks pretty cool. You got to jump in it. Did you jump in it yet?
I'm hoping to drive it away, actually. I don't know what the security situation's like
I
here.
really like the car.
It's a great car. So our next story today is the story of IBM.
Endorsement for Mercedes-Benz.
I'm a software engineer at heart. I grew up inspired by the technologies that IBM R&D has invented over decades. And IBM has a new CEO, Arvind Krishna, who's a close friend of mine, and they're going through a transformation to become a trusted enterprise as well. helping their customers find trust in the cloud.
They're going through a huge transformation.
Helping their customer implement trusted
Not
AI
exactly
with
sure
their
it's the one
Watson
he's
platform.
talking about, though.
What's so compelling about this IBM story is just how complex IBM is. And you can imagine all of us last year, we were forced to work from home at
I just want to
This is going to hit home.
to,
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I just want to say a quick hello to
They have
Don
380,000
Luckinger.
employees and over 50,000.
Man, Don, I really wish I knew how to pronounce your last name. I should have asked you. He's in the green room, so I just want to acknowledge that he's there. And yeah, as you can see, things are running a little late with the
So this use case or this case study is going to be all about Slack, right? So remember, for those who may not have remembered, but IBM holistically adopted Slack before this acquisition by Salesforce. And it was big news, especially during the time when Teams was was on a trajectory themselves. But so it's no surprise that they're having conversation with Slack and certainly a conglomerate like IBM and how it's being used demonstrates its scale.
Or Clips, which is asynchronous
And
video.
IBM certainly had their internal
To
tools.
this new vision of the new way to
from
work.
the Lotus Notes.
Oh, that's right. That's
For
right.
days.
Better than we can. It's actually Arvind Krishna, the CEO of IBM, which you'll see in this film.
We've been in this mode of the
wrap it
industrial
up
age
after
for the last 200 years.
You would think.
We went to a place
Well,
because
has
that's where
IBM
the
done their
energy
story
was,
yet?
that's where the power
They're
was.
doing it right now.
This is the story. And then
Oh, this is
interview-
it.
And there's a third one, right?
No, that was
Oh, the New York was the first one.
IBM.
Yeah.
Years without thinking.
IBM New York and Mercedes,
When people talk about the nature of work,
or as
well, the
Gordon
nature of
G. Gordon
work
Liddy used
may
to call
not
it,
change.
Mercedes.
But the nature of how we do work and where
That's
we do
how
work,
my cousin
I believe
pronounces
is
it. Her
fundamentally going to
Mercedes.
change.
When the pandemic hit and the world
Well, while
was
this is
looking at
going on,
shutdowns, much of what
hey
was happening within
Don, how you
IBM
doing, man?
remained steady.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Hey, John.
Good to see
Welcome.
Good to see you, buddy.
And a 3-day
Just want to
time
say a
period,
quick hello.
pivoted
Hopefully this will be over soon, and then we'll
350,000 IBMers
get
from
moving
our
with
offices
everything. But
around
just
the
wanted
world
to acknowledge your presence, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks,
We'll
Frank.
see you-
Fleckinger.
soon.
That's it. Fleckinger.
Fleckinger. All right, there it is. Because I thought I might have really messed up there for a second. All right.
No, you're good.
Salesforce is
He's a great guy.
pillar of IBM's own transformation.
We are moving our entire structure toward what's
Oh,
happening at the
and
client
let us
conversation,
acknowledge
because
another
this
of
is
the
about
analysts.
understanding our customer.
Hey, Dennis.
One of the
just
four
saying
horsemen.
hi.
Slack
Hey.
shapes my entire work
When are you taking over?
all the way through.
Oh no,
some
we're
of
just
stepping
right now. We're
into
just saying hi. We'll bring you back in
and
after.
ability
We got to
to
wait
work
till
together,
this is
collaborate,
over,
and
and
do
then
it
John
real
will come on, Tashick, and then we'll bring you guys in.
to serve our clients.
Just saying hello. We're just saying hello.
every day.
Hello.
Would not have
My
happened
friend.
If we did not
Goodbye.
have Slack.
For now.
Such an integral
It's interesting. A couple of people have mentioned industries in the comments, but we haven't heard anything about Salesforce industries
gives us
today.
that
Yeah.
360
Yeah,
approach
actually, that's a good
across
point.
our entire
Yeah, really.
constituency. And Salesforce is the perfect partner for us to be able to put that structure together.
IBM and Salesforce have a special relationship based on trust. This is not even about reproductive. This is
So an
about
interesting note, there's one of the companies that I'm kind of involved in or following. GitLab has just gone public, and they are completely a distributed company. They don't have any offices at all. It's the first of its kind to actually go public in the first place. So
wow.
For those that are interested in looking into it, especially since there's this commentary on remote work and just, the digital HQ that Benioff had talked about. It's a pretty fascinating organization and what they're going to be doing. So, so it's GitLab, kind of like GITLAB.
Trusted enterprise using
L-
both
A-
Customer
GitLab.
360 and Slack. So what's their playbook? So IBM has been a Salesforce customer since 2007, but probably most of you didn't know that they were also an early adopter of Slack. They started
Did they
with
still
just
make those
70
cars?
engineers in 2016 in Slack, and now have 380,000 employees using both and Salesforce. And they're sending 16 million messages a day. So Slack is bringing together their people and conversations and information into channels for their 30,000 agents on Service Cloud, and there are 32,000 sellers on Sales Cloud. And Slack is helping them build stronger relationships with their customers and their partners with Slack Connect. With Slack Connect, they have hundreds of channels with their customer community. And Slack is also helping them join their systems and their people together with Slack workflows. And they're doing this by integrating 150 applications into Slack channels, applications like WebEx, Trello, and GitHub.
That's the one thing Slack does remarkably well. That integration is just
rigorous security and
powerful.
compliance needs of IBM.
Well, I mean,
Now, some of you may not be as familiar with Slack.
With it, so
we want to show you a little bit more about Slack and show you how companies like IBM and also companies like
I really want to see how the partner ecosystem integrates into the flow and process with the sales and customer success teams, because they talk about partners, but IBM's a partner heavy, as many large tech companies, they're very partner driven. It's a significant portion of their revenue and growth. How much of that is integrated into the fold will be interesting.
Channels are
there you go, Rebecca. You ask about it.
They're useful for so many.
I assume we'll have John on before that.
Incident management and much more.
Unless,
It's a great example of how teams use channels.
I don't think they start until this is over. Yeah.
Every feature can have its own channel.
Yeah, that's a different
session.
Thank you, John. This is nice.
Thank you, sir.
Managers are in the
See you in a minute.
share product specs,
Thanks,
mock-ups, and give feedback.
It's interesting, the IBM story, particularly kind of the channels and the integration piece, because
marketing can stay
IBM has been such an
Just think
instant
about how
messenger
powerful this is for
forward
increasing
company
productivity
for
and
such a long
transparency
time.
in an
I mean,
organization.
if you think about
while also
IBM, 5 years ago, people were
And
constantly
everything added to Slack
on
becomes
IM internally,
searchable
having that
repository.
kind of sync or shortly
All the
async
conversations, information, and people
in a way
are
that a lot of
searchable.
big companies were.
Everyone can find what they need when they
Why don't
need
we,
it.
as soon as
John, if you probably have a better sense of if this is wrapping up pretty soon. So if you feel like it's about to wrap up, why don't you just join us when you think it's about?
Brent, just give John the controls.
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, John, I'm going to pass everything over to you.
This will be a Playaz takeover.
That's happened before.
Yeah, the happier hour. They took, you guys took over.
And whenever Steve Gilmore comes on the show.
Yeah, when Gilmore's on.
Screen recordings directly in Slack. Simply record and share clips to a channel for teammates to watch and respond to whenever it's convenient for them. For example, in a design team channel, designers often use clips.
Yeah, it's just
to
not
show
talked
new
about
designs.
enough.
And people can respond in any format they want: video, audio, or text, with questions or just encouragement. I love that you can play clips faster or slower, with or without captions and with transcripts. Teams have a more accessible and inclusive way to work together. And all the advantages you get by using channels inside your organization, you can also get using channels with customers and partners. Slack Connect is a secure way of doing this. For example, teams share prototypes, designs, and have conversations with a customer advisory board. And customers love it. They love it because they feel like they're part
pretty
of
sweet.
one team. The communication is faster and more agile, but it's the feeling
Ian,
of
do you have it
someone
written up anywhere?
people
A little more
appreciate.
detail? Do you have it written
From
up
small
anywhere?
retailers, the world's largest financial services firms, over 91,000 companies are running their businesses on Slack Connect without all the planes, trains, and automobiles. Communication at work doesn't just happen between people. We also work with data and other systems. A typical enterprise uses more than 1,000 different software tools. Slack makes it easy to bring them together in one place. The Slack app directory has over 2,500 apps from
All
software
right, so why don't
providers.
we all
You
do
can
it
connect
sacred?
into your channels. You can
So
use the
that puts
Salesforce
us at
integration
about,
to pull up real-time
250
customer
-ish.
information to prep for a customer meeting.
That 9
You'll
or
have
10
the
or
information you need
About
without
10
having
of-
to ask anyone from the account team.
Okay. 10
Then,
minutes.
when
No,
you're
it's
ready
actually
to sign a
25
contract,
lower
you
than
can
we
use
thought.
the DocuSign
No, 30
e-signature
minutes,
app.
half hour.
You get a
Yeah,
notification
yeah, it
in
was
Slack
supposed to
when a
be
signature
around
is needed.
2:15.
Everything is in one
Well,
place.
250 was the
Same goes for any
10
tech
minutes
stack,
into the
from
analyst.
file sharing and web meetings to HR and budget.
Yeah, I mean, we're running
In
30
addition,
minutes
with the
later.
workflow
Right,
builder,
that's what I
you
mean.
can
We're running about
automate
30
tasks
minutes over.
using all of these systems. Here, you see how to start a workflow. This one helps you report an issue.
Which is about on
And once
par
you
for
click on the
Dreamforce.
workflow, you get a structured form to
The
fill in the
Keynote.
data needed. With the Workflow Builder, you can automate any process, reporting issues, giving feedback, facilitating Q&A or approvals. And anyone can build a workflow without knowing how to code. This empowers every employee. Millions of people use workflows every day to streamline work and save time. And that's how companies like IBM, Molly Moon's Ice Cream, and Canva are becoming a trusted enterprise with Slack. Back to you, Brett.
Canva.
I love that demo,
Great,
and I just
great tool.
Tamar and Stuart and the whole
Just raised
Slack
a whole
team.
lot of money.
Welcome to
$40
this
billion
amazing
company valuation.
We all get Slack a
Amazing
round of
founders.
applause.
Really? Wow. I had no
They're
idea.
just growing it's a remarkable platform.
And if Mercedes-Benz,
Okay, I'm putting this up here for Bob, but it almost covers up the screen. It actually covers up whoever. Who's that? It covers up Paul?
As you'll hear,
Yeah, that comment covered you up, buddy. There.
Wow. Oh, good.
Come on, Bob.
I'm going to leave again. To keep Bob's comment up for an hour.
I'll be back in 5.
Look at Brian.
Yeah.
The only way humanity
Wally World or Jellystone.
all of us.
Brian,
Jellystone, definitely, Brian. Jellystone.
I was about to say, if you know Jellystone, you're definitely proving your generation.
Jellystone. Is
And I
Yogi and
do.
Boo Boo with us?
Yeah.
Today we're announcing Sustainability Cloud 2.0. With Sustainability Cloud 2.0, you can get investor-ready carbon reporting. You can connect with the offset ecosystem.
I'm
but perhaps
smarter
more
than
importantly,
Wait a minute.
you can
That's right.
Smarter than the average bear.
Wow.
Hey, Boo Boo.
I think, Brett, you might be losing people's attention.
You can surface the insights you need to do your
You're
part.
talking about Yogi Bear and
The bear in the background.
Jellystone Park.
It's too much.
I could go for a picnic basket right about now.
A picnic.
Yeah.
Wow, the Griswolds, man. That's
Wow.
National Lampoon.
When
Right.
our systems are not robust enough.
Oh
No, they're doing the
Christy
boost.
with his boost up.
Christy's into it. She's
Energy.
nailing it.
Leave it alone,
People
Christy.
call it
Leave it
energy
alone.
transition. I like
Jellystone.
to
That's
call
a big
it
Harvey.
energy revolution.
We'll tell Esteban.
Energy is a
It's
very
always
large
it always amazes me
energy
what causes
The
comment
Ranger isn't
spike.
going to like this.
purpose
Look at this.
accelerate the energy
The comment
transition.
spike is now
A net
because
zero
of Jellystone
economy.
Park.
We have
I just
And because of
thought
that, we have to put that as well. If we're identifying the themes today, aside from trusted enterprise, it was Jellystone Park and Yogi Bear.
Picnic baskets.
Yeah.
We became the
Right.
And when would it start? And how many people are in the audience live? Those are the
every
spikes.
carbon footprint of a customer is different to another.
It can be universities, it can be cities, it can be
Is that
industrials.
CIS?
I like to call it revolution because it needs to
That was the
happen
Who.
very, very
DSI?
quickly.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
was my
We
ringtone.
set up revolutionary tools. This is why we picked
Oh,
Customer
here it
360
is.
as our
We almost
strategic
made it through
solution
without
worldwide.
blueberry bagels
A
being
lot of
mentioned.
customers
Thank you
Almost
so
made it.
much
We
for
almost
that.
made it. We almost
every
made it.
single electron that comes to them, that this electron should be low carbon. And they have to really trust us to bring solutions to these really, really complex problems. We use one system to indeed have a single source of truth of all the different operations that this customer might have.
Customer 360 makes it very easy to be a trusted enterprise.
Climate change is a fight that we all have to take very seriously.
Sven is
The
back.
pressure against the vision starts with the numbers.
He's our blueberry bagel police.
Yeah.
Consuming less, and for what's left, feeding it with renewable would make less money. At NG, we've proven the contrary.
A company of 170,000 people who wake up every morning and they think energy transition, they dream energy transition, and they work towards energy transition. This is in our purpose, but it is also our day-to-day business. How beautiful is that?
This keynote has been really interesting.
To tell
for
you the
a couple
NG
of different
story,
reasons.
I'd like to introduce the CEO of the
Because-
Salesforce Foundation and our Chief Philanthropy Officer, Ebony Beckwith. Ebony.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you, Brett. Hello, everyone here online and here in person. It is so nice to be here with all of you.
Back to
Moments
Brookie.
ago, you heard Brett introduce Sustainability Cloud, which is a critical new product for our customers. And I couldn't be more excited about this announcement because, as you heard Marc mention earlier, we all have a role to play in addressing the climate challenge, right? Yes, good. And you know what? NG is really helping us pave the way and leading us forward. NG is using Customer 360 to help companies, properties, cities, industries, and so much more become sustainable. And you know, they're doing this all while maintaining a maniacal focus on their own carbon neutral goals. Now, before we go any further, I just want to point out that
Shout
all
out to
the
Anand.
amazing innovations
Commenting
you're about
while on
to see
screen.
here are available to you.
I couldn't figure out how to do it in StreamYard. So
Product
why not?
notes on Salesforce Plus. Now, who out here? I know I woke up this morning very excited about Salesforce
I did.
Plus.
I'm the LinkedIn
Who
user.
out here is excited about Salesforce Plus? Yes, Salesforce Plus is amazing, and we can't wait for you to see everything there today. All right, now let's take a closer look at how NG is using Customer 360 to transform their
At least
customers.
there was
and make
another
them
one.
more
NG.
Bienvenue. Welcome. I'm here at Bonjour Boulangerie, a global chain of bakeries with thousands of locations. They rely on NG to power their business and see NG as a trusted partner in sustainability.
Yeah, Chris, I saw that too. Heard that too. Maniacal.
Partnership starts in the NG app. Sophie, the bakery's head of
happened?
operations, uses this app.
Just glitched.
She gets an alert that several of the bakery's locations are
Second
seeing
time.
unusual
I think I know
energy
what it is,
usage
though.
patterns. How did NG do this? They used Mulesoft to connect data from its power grids to NG's smart devices. Sophie reaches out to a service agent right in the app. The service agent is equipped with Service Cloud, purpose-built for the energy and utilities industry. To fix this issue, he's going to need some help from experts. The agent initiates a case swarm in Slack to bring in knowledge from across the company and outside the company. He adds context and skill sets to make sure the ask is routed to the right people. An expert rules out the possibility of a power grid or software issue, but they will
I
need
had
to
a
send a
power grid issue,
technician to
clearly.
visit one of the bakeries to troubleshoot the issue. Okay, great. The technician is here. She's using Salesforce Field Service. It has everything she needs, including expected travel time, details about the job, and a step-by-step workflow to troubleshoot the issue. And here's Sophie, the operations manager, who got that alert on her app. Sophie
This is
shows
what I
a
like
technician
about
around the kitchen,
Salesforce and
and
integrating
it looks like the
folks
dishwasher
in.
might be the problem.
She is the head of the Salesforce
The technician
organization, but
uses
she's doing
NG's
a demo
custom
of a
energy
product.
calculator built with
So
Lightning
it,
Web
it
components,
integrates
and she confirms
that
that
piece of the
dishwasher
business
is the
into
issue.
the
So she
main
recommends a
piece
more
of the business.
efficient
I
model.
think that's really,
Using the
I don't see a lot of other
calculator's built-in energy
organizations
savings
doing that.
highlights, the technician estimates the chain's monthly energy savings. She explains that Sophie can apply these savings to the
Yeah, Thomas. I mean,
expert's
that's the next beachhead is tackling those
dishwasher
industries,
for all
right?
her US stores.
Having industry-specific solutions for these particular
Specialist tells us
out of the
where
box, or at least
identify
supposedly out of the
the
box.
issue and the case is resolved. In a single work stream, NG's service
That
team
velocity
provided
acquisition
differentiated
comes in
support
handy for that.
by connecting all the right
Mhm.
people for lightning fast case resolution. When the storm closes, it sends an automated survey to Sophie's app.
So anybody watching or still watching,
Sophie is experiencing
you feel
time mark.
how are you fit? Do you, if you use Slack, how do you overcome Slack fatigue, and how do you think that that's going to play a part in a lot of the deployments with
Sophie's
Salesforce?
form build prompts a notification in the account team's deal room, which is their Slack channel for discussing customer needs. The account manager whips up an energy audit to see what will help the bakery chain. She uses Tableau, which is now right inside Slack, to make trusted, data-driven decisions. The account manager asks, what is their current average spend on energy per month? And Tableau shows us the bakery's expected spend and breaks it down by the hour. Here, we see their energy usage averaged across all their stores in the US peaks at around noon during the lunchtime rush. This significantly drives up their cost, which is not good. Thankfully, AI is built directly into the Tableau experience.
I think
Einstein Discovery suggests a solar energy product
the
mix
timing
for all the locations,
is gone a
which will
little
help them become
long
more sustainable
for this
and
keynote,
more cost-effective over time.
which
Okay.
from
Did
a
you see
broadcast
that?
perspective,
The account manager just talked to her
probably not the
data
best.
in natural language to
No.
understand her customer, add value to her organization, and build trust. She didn't need to be a data expert. Tableau and AI predictions make any person a data person, and it's easy as pie. Using a shortcut in Slack, the account manager creates a single quote for all the bakery's US locations. And when the quote is complete, she routes it for approval. Sales management, sales ops, and finance click to approve, all in Slack. With the digital HQ, managing the sales process has never been easier. When Sophie gets this proposal, she loves it for the business and the planet. Sophie will continue to use her NG app to stay on
I'm
top
keeping
of
a
energy
watchful
usage
eye
and
out for our
savings.
guests. Just,
And that's how
just
NG uses
if he
Customer
comes in, we know
360
we're
to be a
getting close
trusted
to the
partner
end.
in sustainability. Back to you, Brett.
That is a great story, and I'm just so inspired by the stories of Mercedes-Benz, of IBM, and NG. Really a playbook for how all of us can go back to our own organizations and build a trusted enterprise. And Mark's sneaking up on me again. Mark, come on out here. Let's close this out.
Brett, that was amazing. How about a huge hand for Brett? Great job. You know, Brett, you helped us to understand the trusted enterprise. You helped us to understand how to be trailblazers, number one. You helped us to understand how to bring more trust into the world.
I love it.
How to build customer first. I mean, the stories, especially the Mercedes story, was so powerful. You know, you showed us how to build a digital headquarters, and I loved what IBM was doing. And you also showed us how to make the mistakes so we can come back together.
Yeah.
And you showed us sustainability with NG. So thank you for doing that. You were just a great spokesman for the trusted enterprise. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
A great Dreamforce keynote.
Do you know what I'm excited about, though, Mark?
What?
It's just that we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah, we are. We are just getting started.
Is this the beginning of Dreamforce, or is this the end? This is the beginning.
This is the beginning. But I have to tell you something, Brett. I have to tell you something. There's a couple things. Number one.
This is my feedback session, by the way.
This is just the first Dreamforce. Was it good? Now we're going to package all of it up, the entertainment, the content, the demos, and we're going to bring it directly to you. And we want to deliver
Our guest is in the
100,000
green room.
Dreamforces. That
I'm
is
just
when we
waiting.
will get
If
really
you bring it
excited,
directly
right?
to us, I'm literally going to have to go
Every
answer the
single one
door
of
at some
you
point.
is to reach
So,
out to
just in
your
case it
account executive and
disappear,
ask for a
it's my
Dreamforce to you.
Okay.
We're going to package this up. You know, we're all in different situations. Maybe you have supply chain
directly
problems.
to me.
You know, maybe you're
I guess
trying
Mark's
to go
gonna
direct to
deliver
consumer. We will package this up with custom technology, custom entertainment,
This is a
and
one-on-one.
we'll bring this to your team. So reach out to us. We want to bring 100,000 is an audacious goal, and we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. And, you know, we kind of started a year ago. Remember when
good tip,
Dreamforce
Alan.
was just me and you and a tree?
It does work pretty well.
Back in the day. Now we got trailblazers. That's exciting.
Alan's the expert in collaboration,
But I'll
man.
tell you what, trailblazers, we have to have the master
It really
trailblazer.
is.
Should bring him
we
on
haven't
someday.
introduced the master trailblazer yet.
You know what?
The
No,
master
you're right.
trailblazer.
We should.
That's the person who knows how to bring everybody together no matter what.
I noticed something got brought out to the stage too, and
That is a tool of the master trailblazer.
Who is it, Mark?
I miss
You can't leave
Parker.
me with so much suspense.
The master
I do
trailblazer.
too.
All right, please welcome the master trailblazer. Come on out.
Maybe it's Parker.
Maybe it's Parker.
Please welcome the master trailblazer, Lionel Richie.
Oh no, it's Lionel Richie.
Wow. Lionel Richie.
Where's his hoodie?
Oh, his mic isn't working. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's not good.
That's really not good.
Yes. That's right.
Give him a new mic.
Okay. Sorry, Brett.
No, it's all good. I was just
That was pretty funny, right, guys?
Yeah.
What?
I really want to hear this. Come on. Fix it.
I'm
Fix it.
actually
There
trying
you
to
go.
I wish I
Clap
could
for that
sign.
gentleman right there.
I wish I could read sign language. I'd be listening.
I
to
know.
that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Lionel
Okay,
doesn't
good.
have one gray head in his hair, or hair in his head.
What time you call?
Yeah.
Now, when you say, I want you to be here
Still not that great.
11, 12 o'clock.
So you're saying, say you, say me. I see. All right.
I just want to call me anytime.
All right.
Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Really?
We just met, but
Guys, do you think we should?
Yeah, I do.
We're running pretty late here, so
Guys,
as much as I love Lionel Richie,
me too, actually, but everyone will probably have to go back and listen to Lionel Richie and the recording. We really want to bring John on.
I got this one.
So,
yes. So why don't we say goodbye to Lionel?
Bye, Lionel.
Thank you, Lionel.
Let's kind of remove them if I can. All right, and maybe I'll just do this for now. We'll bring everything up. We'll keep an eye on Lionel and see if anything exciting happens. But yeah, before we bring John Tashick on, maybe some initial or a couple of thoughts from Rebecca and Anand before we let them have the rest of their lives back and do a quick talk with John. So Rebecca, what were your initial thoughts of the keynote?
The trusted enterprise and bringing trust is so important. And I think the community piece is something that Marc nailed. It's not just about building sales trust relationships. It's about building individual relationships with members of the community that rely not just on Salesforce, but on each other in meaningful ways. I would have liked to see a little bit more of Brett's take on the digital workplace and the digital enterprise, because I think he's got a great story and a great vision to tell there.
To add to Rebecca, I mean, I agreed. Like, I'd love to hear more of Brett's, vision perspective on, what the future of bringing Slack into the Salesforce world and what does that future look like in the business world. It would be interesting how he, because he has a great background in how he's built Slack and how that became mainstream business culture in order to use that and how that will play a role. Just to keep it short and sweet, it's this theme of for Salesforce that's worked really, really well has been content, community, and education, and that's always the three pillars that remain steadfast in all of their strategic direction moving forward. So I'm sure we'll see more of that coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Perfecto.
Well, thank you. Yes, thank you both for hanging out and rolling with the a little longer, but I thought it was really interesting stuff. So thank you for those insights. Yeah, put the shades back on. The sun is back out.
Right.
And
party down.
Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll
sing your
talk to you
iconic
soon.
songs.
Thank you, guys.
The Blue Siblings.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Okay, so why don't you introduce our guest? I have him queued up.
Look, this is so difficult to introduce him because this is literally, to me, one of the great human beings out there. Forget great industry people. I mean, he's that, but he's just one of the great human beings. I've known him even prior to his time at Salesforce. John Tashick is the SVP of Market Strategy at Salesforce, but he's just so much more than that. He's built the best teams because of the fact that he manages to take the good heart he has and the nature and the experience he's built over the years and apply it in both life in general and in the business world. And the guy is just remarkable. That's all I can say. I just love him. So that's all I really can say. I mean, I could say so much more, but we wouldn't have any time to do anything else. So there he is, Mr. John Tashick. Hey, man.
You make me blush too much, Paul.
It's all true.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man. It's good to, because you're coming back off a little bit of a break too, aren't you?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a longer break, but I don't know. I just can't stop working.
So the mountain was calling and you didn't go.
Yeah, the mountain is that the, oh yeah. I did go to the mountain and worked from the mountain for.
Well, remote working, and you can work from anywhere. The mountain sounds like a nice place to work from.
Oh yeah, I spent a ton of time with my two daughters, and and even some time when my son came up there, he usually doesn't like going there because the internet isn't as good as it is in San Francisco. But yeah, he even went up there for a couple weeks. So
wow,
yeah, it was good. I worked, but it's okay. It's kind of like working at a regular pace instead of like what I was doing for the 18 months before then at the frenetic pace. Yeah.
You are one of the hardest working humans I've ever met, I think.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it for today. I mean, this was on, if I'm comparing, and I'm not totally doing that. This is what we heard today is kind of what we grew to expect of Salesforce over the years, which was to, on the one hand, kind of understand, not just the market, but understand the world as it's changing, and then figure out a way to take the organization, the company, and apply it in a way that actually has meaningful impact, and then build the vision to present to people about that. I mean, the trust in enterprise, it's literally the perfect vision to be talking to the world about now. And you probably heard us talking about it earlier. We're talking about the fact that, conversation the last year and a half has all been empathy. Well, you actually have done what's ultimately the institutionalization of that. And I thought it was amazing. So can you kind of elaborate a little bit on both, not just your own take on what you heard, but on the evolution of the thinking too? Because I thought it was phenomenal, really.
Yeah, and I think that word evolution is right. I feel like we've been talking about the empathy, or talking around it in many ways for years, and getting closer to your customer and understanding your customer more. And Marc specifically is a very empathetic human. And he sucks the world's problems. He takes them on his shoulders, and he wants to do something about it. And this was not only him expressing himself. It's kind of like he's expressing himself through the company, and the company's expressing itself. And that's why it came out a lot more, especially at this time. I think it was 2 Dreamforces ago, or maybe it was one of our company kickoffs, that we announced the 1 Trillion Trees initiative. That leads into the World Economic Forum, or came from the World Economic Forum, the sustainability goals, that comes together. And then there's the pandemic, and New York had a crisis with PPE, and we sent the plane there. And in the last 6 months, actually, I have no real concept of time anymore. It could have been last. But he really, I think that it all coalesced, like all these things came together. And I thought this keynote was actually quite unique. I'm not supposed to use that word. It was different.
That's right.
It was a different keynote from the usual ones, because there was almost, I don't remember any talk about technology, except maybe a little reference to Slack or something like that in digital headquarters. It was all about Marc expressing himself as an empathetic human, and Salesforce doing the same thing. And then, so I don't remember us ever doing something quite like that, where there was almost no technology mentioned in Marc's part of the keynote.
I know that. Well, that actually was what was so impressive. It was, I think, the only time quasi technology was mentioned was he mentioned sustainability cloud. That was what he said, but I think that was pretty much it. And I agree with you. And you know what? It's what makes the Salesforce message as powerful over, as it's been over time, and even more powerful now, because it fundamentally aligned with everything actually going on, as opposed to what we wished was going on, right? And that to me was pretty great. It's the best, I think, in years, really, and not just in the standpoint of, it was well presented, it was well staged, and blah blah blah. I mean, it just hit home exactly what needed to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was reflecting on. I've been at Salesforce for over 18 years now, and I was there in 2003, which is our first Dreamforce, and there were, I don't know, 1,200 people perhaps at the Westin St. Francis, and maybe 50 partners, and maybe there's one news source there. It was very small. The company only had about 300 or 400 people as well, but I just remember in the Westin St. Francis, in the day before, when Mark was prepping for what the room was going to look like, and Elizabeth Pinkham, who ran all of the marketing at the time, she told Mark that there's going to be snow falling from the ceiling because we were announcing our winter release. That was the first time we named it like after a season, and just from that point to now, how different that is. But Mark still at that point was still thinking of. He didn't express it as the word trust at the time, but that's what he was saying, is like, we have to earn the respect of customers. And I just remember that Dreamforce, and since there are so few people there, I could basically say what I want and it will be true, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Hey, so you said this is your 18th Dreamforce?
Yeah, well, let's see. The 2003 to now, there was. There was no in-person Dreamforce last year, so I guess it still counts.
We'll count it. We'll count it. But
were you registered?
So this is, but this is the first Dreamforce in the Salesforce Plus era. So, how did that shape what we just saw?
I think that Salesforce Plus. The work on that was run in parallel to the Dreamforce Keynote. The Keynote is worked on over a course of a year, basically, and it starts out with all kind of product managers and the product team, and David Schmeier, CPO, and Brett, and Mark, basically saying, what are we going to announce Dreamforce? We're already probably doing that for next Dreamforce, and it's kind of like our North Star in a ways from a product organization. And we have an offsite. Sometimes it's not off-site, but it's an offsite. It was an offsite this year with only fewer than 100 people, I think. But every year we do it. We do the test keynote. Then Mark thinks it over for a while. Then he goes out on the road with the customers and tests it with customers. And then it's fine-tuned. Salesforce Plus was worked on in parallel and didn't have that same kind of path, although it was in conjunction. So what I think you'll see is over time, it being much more of an event. That's the Dreamforce Keynote will be an event like it was now, but more TV ready, I guess. And it will just keep getting better. And then I think the Salesforce Plus will have so much content, not just from the trailblazers that want to tell their stories, and we want to tell their stories as well. I mean, they some of the individual stories actually like make me cry. I mean, even today, this one was like, it's kind of like the moist feeling in your eyes. But those stories will be told, customer stories and original content that was we've done it a lot of content, but it was in 5 different locations. And Salesforce Plus gives us the opportunity to combine all that into one place. And once that happens and there's a lot, all the content is there, I think the Keynote will kind of be like the anchoring point for the whole network.
Yeah, thank you for calling it a network, by the way. Because that's what I think it is too. That's been my. I don't like the references to Salesforce Plus as the Netflix of business, or I remember the original press release. I don't know if it was Salesforce or press release or an article about it said Salesforce announces live streaming service, which it's neither of those things. It is a network. It's a genuine, like the equivalent of an NBC, but a different approach, but still a broadcast network, and that's what you created. And I think that's huge right now. That because ultimately we're moving from just pure live streaming to broadcast, and it, we can all say, oh, we've always had broadcast with TV, and yeah, the answer is we have. But now it's much more digital, and it involves the different generations of people, and how they consume things is different. And we have to be mindful of that. And the channels available are different. It's like when cable first started, right? Now you got Instagram, and now you got Twitch, and you got Clubhouse, and you've got TikTok. I mean, in addition to, LinkedIn, and I mean, those are and actual TV broadcasting. So.
Yep.
I think it's what you're doing is a very important experiment, or it's not even an experiment. It's a very important effort at this point.
We've invested a lot in it, and I think one of the things I would want to watch out for, this is me as an observer, outside in type of guy, is how we adapt the content to a TikTok audience.
Right.
I can see it in my kids, 2 of them anyway, how fast the conversations happen, and how short videos have, and how high of an impact they have when they're even 12 seconds long. I'm wondering how we're going to address that. I know we will. I just wonder how it comes out.
Well, talk to me about that. I actually have some ideas, but I do. I'm serious. I'm fascinated with TikTok. Talk to Ann too. I'll explain later.
Northwestern
No. Her talk to Ann about her college roommate's best friend. Then you'll understand. All right. So I think you're right. And I don't know why this popped in my head. I actually thought, Salesforce Plus will have one of its shows, and then there'll be an Applebee's commercial on it, given TikTok, right? So I don't know if you've
product placement.
Well, no.
Became a live little spot there in the thing.
Yep.
The Applebee, and that became a big deal. I mean, I was watching a Burger King ad the other day. It was just on last night, and the background. I said, "Why do I know that background?" And you know what it was? The background song that they were playing was one of the regular TikTok dance songs, and that's all they were just playing it. They had nothing to do other than the fact it was being played, the commercial, but they knew exactly what they were doing there. And it's very noticeable the impact that TikTok has on all of this. And I think the good thing with, what Colin said was you guys are, you're actually positioned pretty well, given you've got a lot of experience, in both traditional and you hired a lot of younger people from, the networks and other places. So you got a lot in place and an actual studio besides. So I think you're in great shape. And I think, that's what made this keynote to me. Look, honestly, I thought it came down a lot when Brett came out, not because of Brett, because it got into product, and it was just like, it just sort of dropped straight into product at a certain point. And I wasn't thrilled by that, but the reality is, this keynote was elevated, was in the right place at the right time, was the right message, was the right approach, and you guys did what you do great, which is externalize your culture. But the other thing I thought was really important, and see what you think on this, is that you were doing it, and Rebecca noticed it, and she phrased, "Hey, Charlie," phrased it in terms of community, but you were operating really at the ground level this time too. It wasn't like, "Hi, here we are. We're a technology company talking to you as a technology company about the world of technology, doing these technology things." But you're saying, "Hi, we are a technology company, of course, but we're more than that. We're a company with a purpose, and we want to involve you individual folks, and we are going to show that by literally involving you in the keynote and talking about you and bringing you in, not just in the standard, customer story way, but an actual story of, hi, I'm a real person and I went through all this, and and not only that, that story, that young guy who got fired from his job and got involved with Salesforce and his life changed. He never said exactly how his life changed, but he did you know, he implied it. Obviously, I now know Salesforce, my life changed. Probably he's working at a company, maybe even Salesforce, that does that. But the very fact you took it in at the ground, and even at the way you did the staging of the whole thing, everything was ground level. So, I mean, what is that? Is that me imagining something and Rebecca imagining something on Community, or is that what we really were seeing?
No, I think that no, you definitely were seeing that. I can't remember the origin of that type of storytelling and the closeness of the community storytelling, but I know one example that really set us on this path. It was at one of our offsites, and Ebony, who was in the keynote as well, she announced a story about somebody who lost their job, and then she's telling the story about the Trailblazers. This is before we had golden hoodies and things like that, and how this person kind of found herself and built herself up, got a job, and then there was this one where the offsite had 500 people. Ebony brought this woman in, and the whole crowd of 500 people, and probably people at home who are watching it, stood up and started cheering and applauding for. I must have gone on for 5 minutes straight, and there are all these people crying and things like that. And Mark was super touched by that, and I think that from there, we brought in more stories about the MVPs, more stories about the Trailblazers, and it became really an important part of our culture.
It's amazing.
It was an important part before. It was just more front and center, I'd say, because there's such an emotional aspect of a person, inside a company. I said once to someone, Trisha Wong, actually, who she asked me what do I do at Salesforce? I was like, I really don't know what I do. I just know what I have done. I still have the same answer. I don't know how it all works. I just know what I want, kind of want to do. But then she kept on asking me the question, but what do you do? What's your day like? I don't know. But I said, here's a way to think about it. At the end of my career, there's one thing I want to be remembered for, which is to bring humanity into a technology organization. That's me. And I said that to Mark a long time ago. And he also, I know that's what he believes also. And there was this connection about that. So that's the humanity part. We need to keep addressing it. We need to be involved, and it has to be at that ground level, as you described. It can't be like lofty people saying, "Oh, we're going to connect to the customer." It's got to be there. Yeah, it's got to be right. I mean, it seems so obvious as I say it that in order to connect to your customer, you have to be at the peer level. You're like, no one's better than the other. Like, we have to be right there, grounded and connected.
I'm so with you on that. Just so with you. I nothing more to say about it, really. I just think it just tends to be harder than it looks to do. But because people and companies are complicated, and they tend to respond to triggers and cues that really are not the ones they should be responding to. Let's just say that.
That's right.
So I think you're on the money. So I guess one final question. So we got what? So if you're, I know this is not going to be an easy one to answer, but if you've got what, 124 some odd more sessions to go for Dreamforce. So what are 2 or 3 that you would highlight that people you think should? That's why it's hard. I realize it's 124 you'd like to highlight, but what are 2 or 3 that you think would be of great interest, besides, of course, Bill Patterson interviewing Jason Sudeikis?
I always want to see everything Bill does, actually. So, since I was on vacation a bit, I do want to get. I'm gravitating back to the products. One of them would be Slack First Digital Headquarters. That one. There's a couple on Slack. There was a lot of discussion about industries in the channel as I was watching. So there's an industries one that's happening. It's probably actually right on your screen right there. I'm not sure. And then just because data fascinates me and visualization fascinates me, I'd recommend seeing a Tableau one because there's so much really cool things in Tableau. And I don't know if maybe everyone knows Tableau already in some way, but if you go to public.tableau.com, there are, I don't know, a million different data visualizations from everything from literature to COVID. Like it's just data visualized that are written by people in the community. And I don't think they publicize that nearly enough. So the reason I would go to a Tableau session is what I want to do that. I want to be that great at it that I can do one of those things and get really, really cool at it. So that's what I would do. I would do Slack, Tableau, and I know there was some conversation about single source of truth, but it's an aspiration of ours to integrate our own products, but it's also an aspiration to be the connecting glue and the interface to everyone else's. That's the single source of truth.
Way better way than calling it the single source of truth, by the way. The way you just described it's way better.
Well, we aspire. We try.
You're getting it.
Well, hey, John, thanks for joining us, man. I know you're coming off of early comeback. You got a lot of things going on, and we appreciate you taking some time to talk with us about this. And, definitely want to have you back, whenever you have some time to actually do a full episode. Since when you were gone, your guy, Steve Gilmore, came and he took over our show a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah, well, yeah, he's good at that,
Yes, he is kind of a genius working his way to
he's
it.
a genius, yeah. Hopefully, just go down a political path on that one. I'll have to go and watch it now.
It was a good one. Yeah. It was a great one, actually. Great episode. It went over. One of the few that we really went a half hour over. We never do that.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear.
Was that good?
Yeah. But I'm happy to do it. And when Ann asked me, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so, it was the only time Ann had asked me to do anything. I said, definitely.
Thank you.
I definitely do this.
Thank you. Be prepared for a full episode with just you too. I mean, that's happening way sooner than later.
All right.
All right. If you can get Ann's dog Minnie to join you, and then kind of be in their patented pose the whole time while we're talking to you, that'd be great.
You should just do a green screen of Minnie.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a green screen. I'll have to get it.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Thanks again, John.
Okay, thank you.
John.
Okay.
Big hug, my friend.
Okay, hugs to you too. Love you.
See ya.
Okay.
Love you.
It always feels like you guys are doing the Wakanda thing whenever you do.
Yeah, we kind of are. Actually,
yeah, it just kind of reminds me.
John's my only source of vibranium.
Wow. Okay, let me switch and go to my better shot, and then get rid of this guy. And because now that we're not doing the video, I hope I'm getting rid of the right one. There we go. Yep, all right. So now that I've gotten rid of my bad side and brought my good side, let's bring in some smart folks to talk about what they heard over the course of the last hour, 2 hours, actually, I think 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
All right. Well, I'm just going to load them up and you can intro them as I bring them on.
Well, you're going fast, man. How do I can't talk that fast. All right. I don't know how to do this. Liz Miller, right? Just Kate Leggett, Don Fluckiger, Dennis Pobriant. Everybody wave. Hi, guys. Listen, I'm sorry we introduced you in the beginning of the show already. I think everyone realizes what extraordinary analysts you guys are. And let's say that you're all highly opinionated people, right? Too.
No, they're
thank
not.
You,
they're easygoing.
Yeah. So, look, this is your session. You're basically gonna, other than Brent and me saying goodbye, you guys are closing the show, right? So, you got next 20 minutes is all yours. Just what'd you think? I mean, there's a lot to think about here. And what do you think? I'll leave it at that. And any one of you get started, and I probably won't even jump in. I'll just let you guys run it. Go for it.
We're actually going to go off screen. This is what we call the analyst.
We're here though. We're in the back.
Free for all. Actually, you know what we're calling this? We're calling this the analyst crapshoot.
No.
Nice. Getting double use of the word, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys, the floor is yours. We're going to back
Poor
up for a bit.
Don's like, how did I get roped into this? Wait a minute.
We will be on the private chat part though.
Oh yeah. Okay. Want to just go around the horn and give a short? Here's what I think.
Wow, let's do it. I was gonna say, Kate, you want to chew on trust first, or do you? Which one of us wants to chew on that one first?
No, go ahead, Liz.
Oh no, I'm saying no. You go. We'll just go around the dial. So I think Kate, you go first.
So about the keynote, I walked away from the keynote really believing that Salesforce is a mission-based company. They're here to reskill, upskill workers, offer new career paths, open doors that weren't available to a huge swath of workers. They're really committed to their values. They want to do good. They talk every year about their philanthropic model, their $400 million endowment fund, $100 million to local schools. There was a lot of passion around some of the customer stories, like the New York City story. Like what Paul said, I felt that the keynote devolved very quickly into technology and product demos where it should have stayed at a higher level. And I don't think I walked away really understanding what trust actually means to Salesforce and how do you become a trusted enterprise. How does a company become accountable to their customers, to their practices, to their partners? How do they deliver consistent experiences? How do they become that dependable partner, that empathetic partner, that's committed to their values? And why does trust matter? What does it buy you? So I would have liked a little bit more of a formula around what are the attributes of trust, and then how are they actualized in the way that you engage with your partners and your customers and your employees. So that's my take.
I agree. I mean, Kate, I think you nailed it. I think that trust can often be a really nice word that gets painted on like the cafeteria walls or on the digital background, depending on kind of where we are. So I think that there has to be some real tangible ideas about what trust is, because I think trust in the lens of being a customer first organization means something very different, right? It's about all the promises that you're making, something as simple as sending up a form and taking someone's consent and permission to engage with them and then following through on that consistently over time. Are you actually doing that? That's one piece of it. It's not just going to be about, were we good to people? It's going to be, were we respectful to the things that our customers actually told us? I think there's a lot of facets to trust. And so I hope that trust doesn't just become something that feels kind of warm and fuzzy. I do think that for a keynote, it's very Salesforce, right? It's aspirational. It's meant for people to feel good. And I think that certainly came across. But the thing that always comes through in every Salesforce keynote, and I mean, I saw this even in Connections, right? When they changed the format, and it was this much more broadcast, interview, fun style. They actually like being around each other. Like people like being there. People want to be sitting in those audiences. They're actually having fun. They're having a good time. It's not the keynote where everyone's sitting there taking selfies and like everyone's sitting in the background or like, we all know those, right? Like we've all seen those, right? So
Well,
they're
Mark
having
said
fun.
it inspires, it educates, and entertains. I think those are three great words.
Right, totally. And I think the thing, and I think Kate, again, it's something that you touched on. Salesforce is a business, right? And they don't pretend that they're not, which I love, right? They're a business that's actually really jazzed about being a really successful business, because being a successful business has enabled them to do all of these things that Mark talked about, right? Adopting a school, adopting multiple schools, like, starting something like Sustainability Cloud that for any other public organization, the board would be like, yeah, no, like you're not going to go off on that flight of fancy. You're going to focus on the other stuff. But being a business that's good at business lets them do this other stuff, which I think is awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. When it comes to trust, I think that nobody's going to trust Salesforce to make another acquisition unless they roll out a bunch of stuff with Slack. So I'm the journalist. I'm not the analyst among us. So I'm looking for some product news. And it was good that they hit us yesterday with 16 Slack integrations. And some of them are significant and some of them are less so, or they're sort of like little features. But it's good to see big things like the digital deal rooms for sales and the case swarming for customer service. These are things that that the Salesforce users at the front line will be able to deploy right now as they're working at home, as soon as they roll out. I mean, some of the stuff is going to come out in 2022, but as soon as it's out there, that stuff is going to be usable. So, well, this warm and fuzzy, the trust stuff and so on and so forth in this aspirational keynote, as we always hear from Salesforce, it's good. I think the end users, the people on the front lines, want things they can use to do their jobs. And I think Salesforce delivered some of that today.
Well, I think if I were looking at this, I would look at it through the lens of a sociologist or maybe an anthropologist. I think what we're seeing is the transformation of Salesforce and also the transformation of American business and maybe global business. Salesforce in promoting what it's promoting is promoting a culture, a new culture of business. And it is rapidly becoming one of the, if not already become, one of the truly essential technology companies. That's a small group of companies. You can name them on probably the fingers of one hand. Companies like Amazon and Microsoft and Oracle and certainly Salesforce. They are essential because they provide something that nobody else does very well or exactly the same way. And what Salesforce is saying is that technology isn't enough. You have to have this new culture, this culture of a can-do spirit. I'm not going to get fired if I make a mistake. How to hustle. And I think that's what you see in the keynote. I think the next couple of days you're going to see a lot of product, the things that people like us come to look for. But I think without an understanding of culture, you don't get to the why of the technology, and it's all about the why of technology at this point, I think.
But Dennis, it's also a culture that wants to do good.
Sure, that's part of it.
Which is really different from all the other essential companies that we think about today, which I think is particularly unique. How many other large companies talk about sustainability, climate change, the impact to women?
More than you think. I mean, if you just look at Pledge 1%, it's got 15,000 member companies, and it's a well-kept secret that Marc Benioff was one of the founders of Pledge 1%. Marc's fingers are in a lot of pots, a lot of pies.
But you have SAP kicked off their keynote. I mean, if we remember back to, SAP talks a lot about sustainability. That's kind of their focus. Adobe wants to talk about, their focus on, equality and kind of creativity and bringing that to the workforce. I think think large organizations are understanding that, quite frankly, their customers and their people want to know that they're working for an organization that thinks more than about the annual report, the bottom line. It's the millennial generation of what's important for when they go to work, and that's that the companies that they work for stand for something, that they mean something. I think that the challenge becomes when the aspiration and that idea of aspiration starts to almost feel too far out of reach for kind of the small company that also wants to do good, the small company that wants to have a customer-centric culture, right? Does that big aspirational story feel too out of reach? I don't think we're there yet with Salesforce. I think that Marc did a good job of bringing that back, of saying, like, listen, we've pledged all this money for a school, but I personally, this is how I want to get involved. It's about how an individual person wants to get involved. But I think that's where the trailblazer stories become so important for Salesforce, because it's really easy to get lost in the fact that we heard a aspirational customer story about buying a Mercedes-Benz. Like, if I'm being honest, that is a very aspirational story. Not everyone's going to go out and buy a Mercedes-Benz, but everyone can deliver that customer first experience that makes the customer who's picking out their whatever bed sheets, like, I insert another product here, feel like they were having a really luxurious customer first, important, focused engagement with the company that they're choosing to do business with. And I think that's where that's where we start to see the proof in the pudding, right? It's where we start to see this concept of trusted enterprise become, I trust that you're going to treat me like a person. And that becomes the enterprise, right? As an employee, you're going to treat me like a person that deserves to be safe, deserves to work from where they want to work. Like, I think all those things come together, and it's how it all gets implemented, and that's where the trailblazers come in.
That's true. I did a little research on this a couple of years ago, and I forget who said it, but Marc jumped on this right away. A major international CEO group set forth a redefinition of what the corporation's purpose is. And up until then, it was, to make returns for the shareholder. And they broadened it. They broadened it to 5 things, right? 5 stakeholders: the shareholder, the employee, the customer, the partner, and the community. And how do you do that? Well, you don't just flip a switch and do it automatically. You have to do some blocking and tackling in advance of it. And some of that boils down to the whole trusted enterprise kind of thing. You can trust us if you're an employee. You can trust us if you're the community. You can trust us if you're the customer. And I think it's a lot of baby steps. It's a lot of moving parts. But I think that's kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I think that what's interesting, I think, about what Dreamforce did this year was it's definitely trying to rethink and bridge that gap between what we all used to experience at Dreamforce, right? Like the blocking and tackling of getting through the front gate and trying to get into the keynote, right? Like we remember those days, right? Remember
from the fire hose.
Yes. Right, like where you're just like, oh my God, it's 2 days and I got to figure it all out. And you're just like, you were literally sitting there. Like, I remember Esteban grabbed like the lollipop of like how to get all of the analysts from like one place to another. And I was a little afraid for my life. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was worried that we were getting dragged out into the middle of traffic. But that aside, I think it was I think that last year's Dreamforce was trying to be really optimistic and hopeful in a land of a whole lot of uncertainty. And, as far as the things that we all got to see, like a litany of hostage videos, right? Like, remember all the videos where everyone's like, I am the CEO and I'm going to talk about the earnings because we've done a really great job in this time of uncertainty where we're all in it together. Remember those? Right? And so this year, it's a broadcast. It's fun. People are sitting in the front row with the pom-poms again. But what I really liked about it was they're on stage and Marc's on stage talking about how some people want to go back into the office and some people don't. And here they are at an event where they had some people who wanted to be in the audience and some people who don't quite feel comfortable being in that spot yet. And they gave both the opportunity to be part of that fun and be part of that excitement and be part of the experience. And I think that if that's where we're going to start the barometer of trust on, of like, hey, we're talking about how we can give everyone the experience that they want and they need based on what they want, and then the delivery of that, it's a pretty good first step. Like I will give them that coin of like, yeah, I believe you that you're going to deliver on trust if this was our first step. Now, we're all going to be watching, and I'm going to assume that Don's going to be watching with a very, do we call it your journalistic eye? Because we've all got the analyst eyes right now, but do we call it Don's journalistic eye, the editorial eye on whether they come through?
Jaundiced, very jaundiced.
So, Liz, before we drop off, I want to ask you all what you thought of the customer stories. Did they work?
I'm sorry, were you asking me or Liz?
All of
I
you,
guess
the
all of
customer
us.
stories. New York City,
Dennis, what'd you think?
Mercedes-Benz, IBM.
Okay, I'll go.
They're
I'm just
also,
going to like, because
they're
everyone
also
knows
polished,
I'll
right? So they're also polished. So from the journalism point of view, it's hard for me to tease many things from it besides, a lot of sweet, sugary sap. So I find it interesting that it's not just Salesforce, as Liz pointed out earlier. SAP, they present these stories of luxury items and the buying process for something super expensive that's out of reach for a lot of the attendees in the keynote. So for that, I'd like to see something a little more down home, I guess, that I could relate to, but that's just me, right? My objectives aren't the marketer objectives.
Well, it's a diverse audience too. I mean, there are CEOs in the audience, whether they're physically there or not. So I think there was an interesting mix with New York City dealing with something real time, very IT centric, very much with a human factor as the outcome. And then there was there was IBM. There was Mercedes. And granted, we all lust for $100,000 electric car.
What?
But the CEO of GM, if she was there, would have said, "Yeah, I can do that." Yeah.
Well, Kate, and I'll say, listen, we all got to witness the CEO of IBM saying that a company who thinks that they can go it alone is dead wrong. Like, that's the T-shirt that I walk away with from all of Dreamforce, is that Salesforce got IBM to admit they can't go it alone, which is like,
it takes a community.
Right. It was like, what just happened? Can I record? Like, can that be the animated GIF from Dreamforce? Like, you're dead wrong. Like, oh, wow. So I thought, you know what? I thought in general the stories worked, but I kind of liked the more, and this is where I agree. I think, Kate, what you and Paul were bringing up was, I would have loved to have seen those customer stories because it was in the theme of the keynote and not in one of the product sessions, be a bit more kind of like the New York story about kind of some of the challenges the people felt, right? What did they go through? What did they achieve and what did they accomplish? I feel that could have like flowed with the arc of that really uplifting, positive story. So it was a real customer story about customers, and then leave the kind of the rest of the technology and what did we use and how did we use it for more of the deep dives. Because, hey, we'd all love to hear how they were successful at it and what they used. But, we also like hearing listen, we were falling on our face. We need to figure it out. What do you think, Kate? We didn't get your 2 cents on it.
I thought some stories were stronger than others. New York City really talked about the values that Salesforce upholds. The Mercedes stories in terms of understanding your customer, personalizing interactions, and in that way, engendering trust. They could have called it out a little bit more. And again, I was less enamored in seeing the bits and bolts of Salesforce's technology and more the customer problem, and then being focused on the outcome. So I thought they were a mixed bag. And if I had to give it a grade, like Paul always does, it probably would be a B minus. I mean, some were clear A's.
Wow, that was funny. As soon as you hit B minus, that little sound,
Right.
part of that.
It was recording the grade for Salesforce.
Anybody else want to offer up a grade? You know, that's kind of a cool thing to do at the wrap up time. Don, first of all, Don, I love that you have all of that vinyl behind you. That is just beautiful for me to see. Love vinyl.
Yeah, welcome to the Vinyl Lounge. But so there was one thing that jumped out, and I think it was a Mercedes story that they decided to showcase the CDP. And I know that's nuts and bolts of the Salesforce platform, but as somebody who writes about it a lot, that's a difficult technology to explain in a quick video, but that shows Salesforce's priorities in showcasing it in its position in the keynote session. So that's good that CDP, it's not sexy. It's kind of like data plumbing, right? But yet here it is in there.
Don, you hurt my soul. What? CDP's not sexy? Come on, Don. Come on. CDP's is sexy. Come on, man.
Okay. You got it. You got my perspective.
All right. Wait a minute. Did you give a grade though? Did I hear a grade?
You don't want my grade. I'm a journalist. I'm jaundiced.
Okay.
C plus. How about that?
There you go.
C plus. All right, there it is. C plus for the jaundiced one, Don.
And they're
all
lucky.
Right. That's right. All right, Liz.
Oh gosh, and listen, hey, I'm gonna give the keynote. I give it a solid B plus. In all honesty, what I was expecting was a Salesforce event. I was expecting Mark in his shoes. I was expecting to watch, someone sneak up on someone, and it was a lovely surprise to see that it was Mark being the lurker this year on poor Brett. And I've learned to expect that, and you expect that fun, and you expect the cheering, and the superhero pose. I was not expecting to get as teary-eyed with the Golden Hoodie Award as I was, because you'd think after all the times I've watched a Trailblazer get a Golden Hoodie, I'd be over it now. But I'm not Don. I'm not that jaundiced yet. So I did get a little weepy on it. It was really sweet. So I give it a solid B plus. Now, for the total content of Salesforce Plus and everything that we can expect from Dreamforce, do I have different expectations for those different sessions? Yeah, absolutely. We want to see it go deep. You want to see more kind of communication and enunciation over the value and what it's going to deliver. But I think for a keynote, hey, it was fun. Here's what I'm not going to let go. Did everyone else catch when Mark was like, and my team keeps taking out this word, but I really like sequestered. So I was like, the presentation writer in me, like the comms center of me was like, oh, he outed us on TV. So I got to say to everyone who wrote that presentation and helped Mark with it, rock on. It was great.
All right. So we got a B plus, we got a B minus, we got a C plus. Dennis Pombrant, we need your verdict, please.
Brent Leary, I don't know if I can give it a grade. I will say this. I will say this. The strategy of the keynote for Salesforce has always been to get the audience to suspend disbelief. And if that is the goal of the event, I'd say B plus A. They got you to suspend disbelief. They got you to see examples of how their technology is used and say, I can do that. They got you to empathize with other people and think about a different way to do business. So there's plenty of time in the rest of the week to get into the tall grass about Tableau or something else. But for today's mission was suspension of disbelief.
All right. We're going to say you gave it an A minus, because then it'll be an A minus, B plus, B minus, and C plus. Perfect symmetry for the four of you. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, it took a little longer, but we really appreciate you hanging out and providing that. That was really, that was a great 20, 25 minutes right there.
Yeah, it was. You guys killed it. You were
Okay,
fantastic.
I gotta go. Bye.
It's great to see all of you.
Bye, guys. Liz, I
Bye,
love
guys.
TikTok.
Is
I
it
just want
me
you to
you're
know.
looking
I know.
for?
I say let's TikTok it up, Paul. I love TikTok too. I
right,
do.
we-
But can I officially ask for a mini background? Can that be a CRM Playaz thing? Like you just come up with a virtual background that we can use with Mini in the background? Because I'm just saying,
No,
you can even like put the logo on it. Like what's
John
the
said he would
and
do.
now?
John said he's going to do it. So
First of
I
all,
want
when you
one.
said mini background, I was thinking MINI.
Not mouse.
Then I just
No.
realized it was MINNIE. So I'm all
Yeah,
for it.
no, not the
I'm here for
mouse.
mini. I am here for mini. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
awesome.
Wow. Let's
Yeah,
see.
that
We
was
started
great.
at 12:30 and it is 3:50.
Yeah, but what you don't realize, it's 3:50 on Wednesday.
Wait a minute. What? 3:50 on
Yeah.
Wednesday. Talking
We
about.
started at 12:30 on Tuesday.
Yeah, no wonder I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in over 24 hours. I mean,
Exactly.
all
Yvonne
right.
divorced me, by the way.
Yeah, we don't like when Paul is late for dinner. We don't want to cause any issues here. All right, so you know, I'm thinking I was getting ready to do the regular sign off, and it's only Tuesday, so we actually have a show on Thursday, which is actually
Yeah,
a good show.
we got that.
Yeah, we got that show, and we got our guest. You want to say who our guest is?
Yeah, we got a guy who's going to be one of our regulars, by the way, even though not a play in residence exactly, but about as close as you can get, is Jonathan Becker, who those of you who know him currently know him as the president of the San Jose Sharks NHL hockey team and the president of Sharks Entertainment. And for those who knew him in his former life, he was the chief marketing officer at SAP. And arguably, he's just simply great guy and a Renaissance man and one of these insanely inquiring minds that is always busy coming up with new ideas that are wildly innovative. So he will be our guest from now. One change, you want to catch all of him, he has to leave a little early. So he's coming on when we launch the show at 3, he's coming on at 3 and we'll leave at 3:45 and then we'll do our other stuff after that. Okay, so come early to make sure you're on the show when it starts because you don't want to miss anything this guy's talking about ever.
Wow, ever. That's a long time too.
Ever.
Do you want to give a quick grade, or do you want to think about it and then come back on Thursday?
You know what? The only reason I don't is because then I'd explain it and then we'd be on even longer. So I think we're about ready to wrap at this point.
Oh, really? All right. Do we want me to play some rapping music so you can rap? Or
oh
no.
Man,
oh my God, this is getting really bad. It's getting really bad, folks.
That proves we're ready to leave.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's thank everybody. I mean, I'm looking, and I think if we're not at 500 comments, then we are very close. Because the last time I looked,
that was amazing. The conversation was
47.
phenomenal.
Really was. And the commentary on screen from our Playaz in residence, Rebecca Wetterman and Anand Thakur, as usual. They were great. Yeah. Of course, the 4 folks that came on just now, and John Tashick for spending some time with us. You know, we know how busy he is in the midst of what's going on right now. So really appreciate John doing that for us as well. And I appreciate him being a Rams fan too.
Yeah. that was pretty good, actually. That was everybody was terrific today. It was just really high energy, really a lot of really, really insightful commentary, and not a whole lot of snark either, which was nice.
No, although maybe a little trolling, going on, but that's all right. You know, it was good natured trolling,
critical commentary.
Some of it was, but some of it was trolling.
Yeah,
who
that's
you are. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, thanks. And I think it's about time because my internet is kind of acting up on
I
me.
can see.
I'm like
You're
doing
definitely
like all
choppy.
sorts of weird notion. So I guess we better end this day. I feel like I'm getting ready to break dance or something.
You're getting ready for
nobody wants to see that.
You're getting ready for a Zoho after party.
Oh my God. That was so fun. All right. Anyway,
Okay.
good almost 3.5 hours. It was pretty much nonstop. We had a good time. I'm thankful for all the folks who checked it out and commented. And on behalf of everybody that was on this show, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Players, and I guess it's safe to go back to this guy here to end the show. If I can only find this guy here to end the show. There he is.
There we are. I love